SWC broadcast.
He did not pull the Champang yet. I would have thought I would choose Sierra first. He goes to the
Okay, here we go. Oh, Lucian, it's over. Lucian, it's the 12,000th.
This is war. Lead, follow, or get out of the way. I'll show you who's boss. The world is now a real-time battlefield. Join the global battlefield. Summoner's War, Lost Centuria. Download now.
bring to your attention. Again, passes through every single SWC broadcast. Camilla here. You're going to see a soft Ciara getting hit by Drakule. Look at to get that full team strip attack our football.
He did not pull the Champang yet. I would have thought I would see Sierra first pick. He goes to the open.
Okay, here we go. Oh, Lucian, it's over. Lucian, it's the 12,000th.
Mr. Chung is going to be this year's SWC champion.
Hello there, you lovely lot, and welcome into the Summoners War World Arena Championships 2021. It is day 3 here. We began this journey last weekend, and here we are on the final day of the EU Prelim Finals. My name is Adam Savage. I am delighted to be your host at the course of this incredible day. But it's not just me. I'm joined by the lovely Baus and Killer as well. Fellas, we are in for such a glorious day here. We already have 4 players already confirmed for the Europe Cup, but we have 4 more to find today here in our lower brackets as well. Baus, what an exciting time. Obviously, a lot of these players here today are more rising stars, I guess, in this. Veterans last weekend had an amazing day 1 and 2, but today we're going to see, I think we're going to see a few upsets.
I fully expect to see so, and I do hope to see so, Adam. We have, because all of the veterans managed to make it through last weekend, we actually have 8 new players in the EU Cup this year, and I really hope that a couple of them make it through, cause some upsets, and cause some really, really exciting action.
Yes, indeed. And the exciting action comes to you when you're all here with us in this studio. Actually, that's sadly not the case because we're in a virtual studio. But how amazing does it look? Of course, because we're being safe due to COVID-19, it was a huge impact last year. And we can't be together this year. But you can see that even if our limbs do disappear out of screen, don't worry. We haven't been attacked by anything, or they're not kind of caught up in an interdimensional kind of realm. It's fine. We're just here broadcasting from all over the world, bringing you the action here. So thank you so much for being here with us, despite the fact we can't be in the same building. Fingers crossed next year we will be together once again. Let's take a look at the overview of what's coming your way and how this all came to be. Last weekend, we had day 1 and 2 of our double elimination. We had 16 players across 2 days. Today, we have 16 players all together competing for those last 4 slots to get into the Europe Cup. The top prize in the Europe Cup being 10,000 big ones, $10,000, an almighty amount of money for one of our summoners. As we said, 4 seats already taken, 4 to play for. Killer, I'll come to you now. Of course, this is an exciting time. Obviously, we saw last weekend that those 4 veterans got through. There are 4 slots left in the Europe Cup. What is it going to mean to our players to qualify for the Europe Cup?
Oh, it's going to mean a lot to these new players. Like Boss said, 8 of them are new. That match number 2 has 2 new guys, and that losers round 2 has a new player. So it's a guaranteed new player going into the Europe Cup this year, and I'm excited to see what they're going to bring to the table.
Exactly. We saw last weekend that a lot of the newer players brought new strategy, more tactics, new ways of lining up their units to really compete against some kind of stalwart players here. We can see Saishizo, Ismu, Rosith, and Obabo completed their journey last weekend to get to the Europe Cup. We have those 4 other qualifier slots left, though. That'll be determined today on this broadcast. So just join us. You're in for one brilliant day, because we'll find out by the end of it exactly who the 8 superstars are making up our lineup going into the Europe Cup. Let's talk about last weekend very quickly here, Baus. What really stood out for you last weekend? What did you enjoy?
I enjoyed pretty much everything, Adam, but especially the veteran players showing what they had and bringing out some really, really kind of controlled gameplays, assured drafts, being so adaptable to bring react to kind of what a lot of the new players were bringing, and just closing it out and making their way through to the EU Cup. Those 4 that you see on the screen above us right now.
Indeed, yeah. I think it was a bit of a shock to all of us as well. Viilipytty, last year's Europe Cup champion, went out in his qualifying round, his quarterfinal matchup. He actually went out and sadly hasn't qualified. Therefore, he is here today in the brackets. You can see at the bottom of the screen, which is going to be a huge matchup against SaPyn later on today. But let's take a look at this bracket. You can see we got 4 losers round best of 3 matches. Okay, these are players who didn't win any of their games last weekend who went into this losers round bracket. However, in the losers round 2 matchup, we have best of 5 games coming your way later on. 4 players, Chene, GutsTheBERSERK, there you can see ThatAapje, and also SaPyn already confirmed they won their quarterfinal match last weekend, but lost their follow-up game. So they're already into at least their final opportunity to get to one of those 4 seats left. You can see the blank spaces at the far end. Those will be filled up by the end of the day. But which kind of lineup, which matches are you most excited about here, Killer? Which one really sticks out for you?
Adam, that 4th match, Viilipytty versus SmokeZzz, is something I'm excited about. I was excited about last week's Viilipytty and SmokeZzz's gameplay, and I'm excited to see how these 2 will clash today, because I'm expecting aggressive playstyle from both of them. We didn't see that from SmokeZzz last weekend, but I'm hoping things will change around and we see something more in action in favor for the audience, you know? And yeah,
indeed. You saw last weekend as well, at the end of the broadcast, we actually had the bracket up on the screen for you guys to see at home. Now, that bracket was sadly slightly incorrect. It's been amended now, and this is the official bracket now. So thanks for bearing with us. This is how things stand officially. You can see it above it. Everyone points up. Baus, Killer, point up at the screen. Yeah, this is it. This is it. This is legit. This is the one. But of course, Baus, you know, this is you know, we said it again, you know, last weekend we saw some great players. That's the great thing about Summoners War right now as well. There are so many players who are synonymous with the game, who we know are such champions as it is, who have proven that in past tournaments, you know, different seasons, that they have the caliber to be here anyway. But as we said, new players, it's very exciting to see that there are some breaking through the ranks.
Yep, exactly. And we're about to see 2 of these new players coming up in the first round of matches, actually, as well as the second round. So I'm really, really excited for these first 2 matches we have in store.
Yes, this is our first matchup of the day. Our first lower bracket match is going to be Ricky versus Elmo. This is an exciting pair here. We saw last week they were up against tough competition and sadly went out in the first kind of round of their quarterfinals. However, Now going head-to-head, they're playing for a place to face Chene in the next round. They want that opportunity, right, Killer? They want to give it a go here. They have to get there. How does Ricky do it? What do we like about Ricky?
What we like about Ricky is his most picked units, which we didn't see too much of last weekend because of the pre-bans that SaPyn put in place. But Ricky has a unique playstyle. He likes to cleave. I want to see that. That's what excites me, and hopefully he can pull it through today.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's exactly right. The pick and bans last week were so pivotal, Baus. They made such a difference to that, the way that, tactically, as we said, that how the players actually approach the game, and it really affects things, doesn't it?
It does really affect things. I was really hoping to see a kind of cleave strategy that we see above us on the screen from Ricky. Unfortunately, because of the pre-bans from, say, Shizo, kind of taking out some of his legs from unhome, he couldn't pull it off, had to adapt, and it didn't quite work out for him.
Yeah, it's exciting to see that players like Elmo we can see on the screen now, who's facing off against Ricky. You can see here the win. We talked about win rates last weekend and improving, every season on season. 16 to season 17, there has been a win rate increase here, Killer. That's great, but also like units slightly changed for him as well.
Yes, units slightly changed from season to season depending on nerfs and buffs, but his playstyle has remained the same. He likes that CC comp. He's stuck to it and he's implementing it. Hope to see it here today, see how Ricky responds to him.
Absolutely. Now, of course, we want you guys to get involved as well. Let us know who you think is going to win each of our games in the chat. Get the hype, get the energy flowing, because there's lots and lots of entertainment coming your way. It's time for pick and ban in our very first matchup. Elmo and Ricky go head-to-head in set 1. Boys, over to you.
Here we go, guys. Match of the day. First match of the day. Ricky versus Elmo. 60 seconds, 4 pre-bans. Both players taking their time to consider their first pre-bans for the day.
You know what is really interesting in this matchup, Killer, is that both players have access to the same rare light dart unit, the Pontos. So I wonder if they're actually both going to pre-ban the Pontos from each other.
Ooh, that would have been interesting to see both pre-banning the Pontos. Changpang gets the pre-ban. Okeanos gets the pre-ban. Both very strong units in this current meta. Here we go, a few seconds to draft up their first units.
Well, we don't see it this round, unfortunately, but now Ricky actually has access to his Basta and Tableau. Maybe he'll try a cleave.
Maybe. Elmo first pick with that Carnal Fire and Bison. Ricky, Basta and Lucian for those first 2 units, drafted up and locked in.
Oh yes, Killer, I'm so excited about this. This is really, really exciting to see. I am surprised he's gone for such an early Lucian into the Carnal being one of the strongest Lucian counters out there, especially with the 44% HP lead, but also with his element. So Ricky's going to have to bring some other elemental units in order to take out that Carnal or just ban it.
There we go. Elmo drafting up 2 very strong speed leads with that Sierra and that Chiwu for second and third unit to counter Ricky's drafting. Ricky, 20 seconds to decide how he responds to that draft.
Well, he has the Tableau at his disposal. He also has a Jemaya. Those are speed leads as well.
And like you said it, boss, Jemaya and Tableau come out with 24 speed leads of his own on Ricky's side. Locked in. Elmo taking his time to consider his counters and drafting to counter Ricky.
Elmo's going to need to bring some kind of attack bar booster, maybe an Escher, because he has the 24 speed leads. He only has the Chiwu that's probably not as fast as the Bastet from Ricky's side. I'm expecting Ricky's Bastet to be very fast. Or he just brings some hard counters to cleave like this unit we see on the board.
There we go. Kinky and Diana drafted from Elmo. His final drafting has been locked in. Ricky, 1 more unit to draft up to lock in his deck. Here we go, 20 seconds. Brings that Swicky and locks it in.
That is quite a rogue choice, Sweeky. I like Sweeky. I'm not sure if he necessarily goes with the rest of the draft. I wonder if it's a damage, like a full damage Sweeky. Not a usual build we see. But that does signal a ban on the Diana, which counters both cleaves in general and also the Sweeky. On the Ricky side, you might want to ban the Bastet.
10 seconds in. The Bastet is banned and the Diana is banned. Both players locking in that speed lead, Sierra and Jemaya. Here we go. First match of the day, set 1, best of 3. Ricky versus Elmo. Who will take that first turn? Match is underway. Keep an eye on that attack bar. Chiwu taking that first turn from Elmo's side, managing to strip only 1 unit.
Wow, that is a surprise.
Wow.
The Tableau not being faster than the Chiwu, and Ricky is getting punished hard. I think Elmo has already racked up this match.
Punished hard indeed. Sierra taking out that Lucian on Ricky's side. Swookie! Oh no, that was the kinky. Swookie! Whoosh whoosh! That's some damage on Elmo's side, but not that much. Here we go. Carnal on Elmo's side, about to take a turn into Jamai, provokes him.
Well, I guess it's not a damage Suiki, it's probably quite a tanky Suiki. Didn't do that much damage, but it was really exciting to see the whoosh whoosh nevertheless.
Whoosh whoosh indeed. It looks like this first match is almost over. Elmo looking very healthy with 4 units, and Ricky 2 bombs on 2 of his units. Here we go, detonate, and boom! Taken out. Elmo taking that first round, 1-0, best of 3, still anyone's game.
I think I took about 7 breaths before that was starting to finishing. I mean, that was the craziest, fastest first set I think we've ever had. That was really fast there. I mean, Elmo dominating from the outset. You talked about speed leads there, Baus, as well. Obviously, Elmo being fastest there to get his moves set in first. How key are speed leads in moments like this? Because it seemed that by the time that Ricky had a chance to reciprocate or to respond, it was kind of already over.
They really could not be more key. There, Adam. As we saw, the speed leads enable you to take the first turn. These 2 players were competing for first turn. They both had the 24 speed lead, and they both had ones that also enabled the first turn, the Tableau and the Chiwu 2 units, both with the speed lead and with like either the attack bar reduction or the attack bar boost. In the end, the Chiwu was actually faster than the Tableau. So unfortunately for Ricky, that was really key, and Ricky did not have an initiative to take many moves before he was gone.
That's true. I mean, it all comes down to this. If Ricky loses this next set, that is it for him this year in the Europe Cup, and whether or not he can get a place. It's over to you guys for pick and bans. Can Elmo go 2-0 and into the next round versus Chene? Let's find out.
Here we go, guys. Second set of the day. Ricky versus Elmo. Ricky looking for a tiebreaker. Elmo looking for that clean sweep for best of 3 to move on to the next round. Okeanos Changpang pre-banned from the last match, which was the first match. Both players taking their time to consider their bans.
Indeed they do, and this time Ricky knows that Elmo is faster than him, so he can't go with exactly the same strategy because the exact same result will happen this time. So he has to think about if he wants to switch to a different strategy. He has access to the Pontos, he could try and take that away from Elmo before Elmo has the chance to pick it.
There we go, Chiwu gets the pre-ban, Tableau gets the pre-ban, both very strong speed leads into RTA. Here we go, 1 second, drafts are going to be drafted up any moment now. Ricky taking that first turn pick, goes with that Lulu, first pick locked in from Ricky's side.
No way, Killer. This could not be more different from the first match. All these tanky units, these healers, this is going to be a much slower match.
360 indeed. Elmo drafts up that Merlong, that Carnal, Fire and Bison locked in on Elmo's side. Ricky, 15 seconds to decide on his second and third unit to draft up against Elmo.
That's very smart of Elmo to pick up the Merlong and the Carnal because those 2 units pair well with the Lulu, so Ricky doesn't have access to those units that go really well with his Lulu anymore.
There we go, Ricky with that second draft Rika, third draft speed lead, Sierra locked in. Elmo pulls out his LD unit, Pontos with a set of speed lead of his own. It's locked in, 10 seconds to decide on his 4th unit. Elmo taking that time to consider his options.
I really don't like that Rika at all. It's far too early, I think. Especially with no other strippers on Ricky's side. So then Elmo can just bring in a double immunity and then that Rika is just taken care of completely.
There we go, Elmo locking in Juno for his 4th unit. Ricky responds with Changpang, Okeanos. Okeanos was pre-banned in that last match, and that Changpang, and they're gonna see some action in this gameplay. Here we go, Changpang locked in, Okeanos locked in, Ricky's side. Elmo, 15 seconds to decide his last monster, brings out the Hey Gang Artmaster, Water Artmaster, and it's locked in. Few seconds for the bans.
Ricky is really short on strips right now. If Elmo bans out the Chongpong, then Ricky is going to really find it difficult to use his skills. On Ricky's side, I think he has the ban of the Pontos because of his lack of strip. So there might be some mind games there, whether Elmo decides to ban the Chongpong or the Rico or the Okeanos, if he's depending on what he's expecting Ricky to ban him.
Any second now, the bans are coming in. What are we gonna see? Sierra and Pontos, both speed leads ruled out, banned. Carnal leader skill locked in from Elmo's side, 44 HP. Here we go. Set number 2, Elmo versus Ricky. Elmo 1, Ricky 0. Are we gonna get a tiebreaker or are we gonna get a clean sweep? Here we go. Hagen taking that first turn. Skill 2 manages to strip 3 out of 4 units. Okeanos with that wheel still available on Ricky's side.
Wow, Elmo's units are just so fast and you're just deleting Ricky's units before they even move once again.
it looks like 3 versus 4 because where's that 4th unit? Oh, Lulu was disappeared by Merlon's reckless assault. Okeanos from Ricky's side takes a turn, stuns the Heigang and the Juno. Merlon and Carnal still available. Resets that Carnal on Elmo's side. Changpang follows up. Attack by Pushbacks.
The difference in rune quality really came through at the start of that match, Killer. It's not quite over because some of Ricky's units, or rather Elmo's units, have been reset, but there is still that Juno that's quite a hard carry, to be honest, in this scenario. This Juno could probably just solo the 3 units on Ricky's side.
There we go, Juno taking out that Okeanos. Elmo coming in destructive at the beginning, putting it down to 2 units on Ricky's side. Rika goes into Carnal. Merlon counters with the defense break. Juno onto Rika, stuns her. Looks decided.
Yep, this is an incredibly dominant display from Elmo. Very impressed by his grappling skills, by his rune quality, and he's just dispatched Ricky in record time, I believe.
Amazing, here we go. Elmo clean sweep, 2-0 over Ricky. GG to both players, well done. Elmo moving on to that next round to verse Chene, best of 5 later on tonight.
What an incredible display from Elmo just there. I mean, just strolling his way through to the next round against Chene, like Ricky wasn't even there to a degree. It just felt so dominant, Baus. What was the difference? Did it come down to the selection of units? Did it come down to runes? What was the key factor in that matchup?
To be honest, Adam, in the end, I think it was more down to the runes. We saw that in both matches. But both Elmo and Ricky had access to the same speed leads, 24 and then no speed leads. But Elmo outsped Ricky both times, and that's about the rune quality, having those faster runes to move before, snipe those units out of Ricky before Ricky even had the chance to do anything.
I mean, Ricky's sadly knocked out of the competition here, Killer, but it's been, great opportunity for him to at least experience being in the EU prelims, and lots he's probably learned for next season.
Hopefully he has learned for next season, and I'm looking forward to Ricky and the Portuguese community having a more appearance in the SWC in the coming years.
Absolutely. Well, commiserations to Ricky. It's sad to let you go, but Elmo, congratulations to you who goes through to face Chene in the next round for one of those first places in the Europe Cup. There are 4 up for grabs. One of those 2 players will nab one of them. It's a best of 5 coming your way later. It's going to be unbelievably exciting. Elmo gets off to a superb start, but we don't stop there. Tons more in the lower bracket, round 1 coming your way. And we have another matchup right around the corner. Yan37 versus Livert. We saw these 2 guys in action last week here, Baus, who were actually really entertaining to watch. This is the matchup I think a lot of people are excited about because it could kind of go either way.
Exactly. These 2 are completely new players with really interesting play styles. Yan has access to the Ragdoll, and then Livert has just a completely unique playstyle. I'm particularly looking forward to that one.
Yeah, we can see the Lulu there as well in the mix, which was a dominant unit last week as well, Killer. I mean, a good win rate from Yan coming into this as well.
Yeah, a slight improvement from season 16 to 17. And, slight improvements, it might look small, 6%, but that 6% is huge. And you made it to the SWC with that. So congrats to John. And let's see what he brings in this match today.
Yeah, I can't wait to see. I mean, he's got a lot. I mean, this is an opportunity as well because we're all watching. You guys watching at home. We're here in the studio, in the virtual studio, should I say as well. It's great to see these players because obviously if one of them could go all the way through to the Europe Cup and then obviously we're celebrating them later on this year. So who knows what's going to happen. But Yan is definitely up for this, as is Livert as well. Baus, what can you tell us about this player?
Look at this player, Adam. Livert, first pick Anvil. That's not something you'll see really almost anywhere else in the world, but he makes it work. He's managed to qualify for SWC with really solid win rates with this unique playstyle, the Anvil, Vanessa, Triana, Leona, and Akroma.
Yeah, it's a good selection, and once again, another player who on last season has improved from a win rate percentage, which means we're going to have 2 players who are on a roll right now, going head-to-head, toe-to-toe. It is time for pick and bans. It is time for game 2, set 1. Fellas, this one is going to be mighty interesting indeed. I think that whatever happens here at the forefront is going to dictate proceedings for the next 3 sets. Let's head in. Baus, Killer, over to you.
Here we go, guys. Match number 2, first set, best of 3. John versus Livert, pre-Banzarians. Iona and Merlon get pre-banned very quickly. A few seconds to decide up on their drafting for this first match.
That's right. Leona, the Dark Paladin, has been pre-banned, and one of the big counters to Leona is gone, but Livert has access to the Anivil.
Yes, Leona pre-banned right there. Here we go. Very fast drafting. Anivil gets drafted up from Livert's side very quickly. John responding with the Sierra, Lulu, locking them in. Livert brings out that Vanessa, Triana for second and third unit. Jan brings out that Fire Panda, Fang Yang, and Adamail drafted up as his third and fourth unit. Livert taking a few more seconds extra to decide on his final two units to draft up.
These are some incredibly fast picks, Killer, and I like the Fang Yang pick a lot. That's actually really good against Livert's draft, I think, so I like that idea that Jan came up with.
Here we go, Livert brings back that Rakan locked in, Juna locked in, and what was it, Cha-Cha on the Jan side?
No, that's Shushu, the Light Howl.
Shushu!
So we're going to get to see Shushu and Lulu in one team, potentially.
Oh yes, both Shushu and Lulu locked in on Jan's side. 10 seconds for each player to ban a monster from their opponent's deck. Here we go, Lulu gets banned, Annabelle gets banned on Livert's side. Both players gonna opt in with their leader skills. What would they opt in with?
I'm curious if Jan is going to go with the 50% HP lead or the speed lead. The 50% HP lead could go a long way to helping his Artemill and also benefit the Shushu as well. I'm really excited to see how much this Shushu manages to bring to this game.
That was a possibility, but they both have opted in with their speed lead. Vanessa on Livert's side, Jan with the Sierra on 24 speed lead on his side. Here we go. First set for match number 2, best of 3, match is underway. Who takes that first turn? We're about to find out. Here we go. Ooh, Adamail takes that first turn. Oh no,
Shushu.
Shushu.
You'll get there.
First turn. Juna follows up, manages to strip 3 out of 4 units. Here we go. Adamail revenges. Fang Yang takes a turn, lands a defense break on Juna. Vanessa takes a turn on Livert's side, landing the defense break on that Sierra.
That is an incredibly well-runed Fang Yan, probably with really good artifacts as well. Did you see how much damage it did on Juno with just one hit of his skill 1? That was really, really exciting to see. This match actually might be a bit shorter than we would otherwise have expected, given the amount of damage the players are bringing.
Here we go, Rakan returns, collapse into Sierra, doesn't kill her, manages to provoke her, put her down to 1 HP. Sierra additional turn, dies to that dot early on.
Oh my
Cha-Cha
goodness.
takes a turn. Shushu takes a turn into Triana.
You got it. But also that Rakan, the collapse. Oh, that was incredible. Finally, he managed to crit and he did the damage he needed to do. Maybe Livert switched up from a tanky Rakan to a crit damage Rakan potentially. Either way, that was insane. Rakan being a superstar in this match so far.
There we go, Adamail doing those revenge from his passives into Rakan. Rakan HP bar halfway down, skill 1 into Fang Yang. Fang Yang gets the dot landed onto. Rakan gets countered and stunned by the Adamail. Here we go, Fang Yang, skill 1 into Rakan. Misses the defense break, additional proc, lands that defense break. That is very crucial. Triana cleanses it. Looking very healthy.
Indeed, Livert has so much sustain with the Vanessa passive that hasn't been triggered, with the Triana, and then Juno just bringing out all those multi-hits turn after turn, and also countering the Shushu's immunity quite well, that Juno's skill 2.
Here we go, Rakan takes another turn into Fang Yang, doesn't land the dot. Fang Yang heals up with skill 2, counter attack is up on his side. Juno skill 1 into Fang Yang, takes him out. Adamail stuns that Juno, not a positive thing for Juno, Adamail, but here we go. Shushu goes into Rakan, failing to kill him. Triana skill 1 into Shushu. Vanessa to take a turn from Livert's side.
I honestly, before the last weekend, would never have expected Rakan to be the superstar in any SWC match. I doubt that many other people would have expected the same, but he really is doing so much work today, and he might take out this Artemill as well.
Almost takes that Adamail, leaving him with like 5% HP, but here we go, Juno takes him out. Livert takes that first round, best of 3 over Jan, 1-0. Very interesting match, but don't rule out Jan just yet. He could be looking for a tiebreaker with a different draft.
Yeah, certainly lasted a lot longer than our previous game there. The set there just felt like crit after crit after crit there, Baus. Livert there with the first win of these 3 sets. He has the upper hand. Can he go all the way? What do you think?
I mean, he really might, Adam. That Rakan was such a superstar, and I love to see it. Livert, definitely one of my favorite players of the competition so far, bringing out all of those unusual units, but incredibly well runed, incredibly well speed tuned as well. You notice how the Vanessa moved just before the Rakan every time to land that defense break, to give the Rakan a little bit more bad damage, able to take out the Ciara, then the Artemil, and then boom, 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 he took it home.
I can see both you boys on the cast as well, absolutely buzzing for everything that's happening right now. And hopefully this set 2 is going to be equally as entertaining. We head back in. It's all on the shoulders now of Jan to get back into this. Has to win 2 sets back-to-back to remain in contention for one of those places in the Europe Cup. It's pick and bans. Set 2. Let's do it.
Here we go, guys. Set 2. 2 water units get banned out very quickly. Annabelle and Lulu get banned out very early on. No Lulu, no Annabelle in this match. 5 seconds, both players to decide on their drafting for this second match.
Livert without his favorite unit, the Annabelle, but he has access to the Leona now, so I wonder what he'll do against the Ragdoll that we might see from Jan.
Quick picks right there. Jan going with that Merlong. Livert quickly countering with the Vanessa Triana with his first and second pick. Jan going with that Fire and Bison, aka Carnal and Juno on his second and third unit draft. Is that a Praha and a Leona from Livert's side get drafted up for the third and fourth unit. Jan about to consider his fourth and fifth drafting any moment now.
Incredible stuff, Killer. The Juno being stolen by Jan from Livert, but then Livert just uses the Water Juno, the Praha, instead in her place, fulfilling a pretty similar role.
There we go. Jan pulls out that Fuki and that Molly, locks him in. His drafting is completed. Livert 15 seconds to decide on his final unit. What is it going to be? I'm very curious to see what he will draft up.
I really hope it's the Rakan. If he bans out the Molong, the Rakan could do some real work once again. Or he might want to bring another Force of Armor Break.
Here we go. 1 second. As you wish, boss. Rakan comes out to play. And it is locked in. Both players few seconds to decide their bans on each other's decks.
Well, that Molong seems like a no-brainer for a ban, but he decides against it potentially because the Molong does counter the Leona and also potentially the Rakan. But if he just bans out the Leona, as we're seeing on the screen, then I guess that doesn't matter.
Here we go. Leona and Molly gets pre-banned. Opted in with the HP lead and the speed lead on Livert's side with that Vanessa. Set number 2 is underway. Who will take that first turn and who will go for either a tiebreaker or clean sweep? Here we go. Molong taking first turn. Skill 2, Dragon's Dance, stripping only Triana. Juno follows up, stuns that Rakan. Here we go. Carnal into Triana, doing some damage. Praha on Livert's side about to take a turn.
That was actually a really crucial stun on the Rakan, meaning that Rakan won't be able to take out any units turn 1 despite the Vanessa's defense sprint being available, and especially with the Triana attack bar being reduced so that Triana couldn't cleanse the Rakan before Rakan moves.
Very crucial right there. Defense break lands on that Carnal from Vanessa, from Livert's side into Jan's side. Fukis takes a turn onto Triana, does some serious damage there on Triana with his skill 1.
I think what we're going to have to see here is if Carnal manages to proc or before Rakan moves. If he procs, the defense break is gone and Rakan's damage is significantly lowered.
Here we go, that time, and does not proc. Here we go, Molong, reckless assault into Triana, takes her out. Vanessa's passive, getting triggered, bringing back that Triana. Triana alive, back with the attack buff. Juno still one into Triana. Vanessa goes into Carnal, defense break is up. Rakan's about to take a turn, collapse into Fire and Bison. Is he? Goes for it, takes him out. Huge play right there.
Incredible. Rakan not missing crits today. Maybe Livert has increased the crit rate of Rakan from last weekend when he missed that crit. That was so crucial. And this time around, the Rakan is delivering once again, taking out those units. Incredible scenes.
There we go. Praha sleeping. All of Jan's team. Fuki coming out of sleep with additional prop. That Triana not looking very healthy after Fuki and Juno putting some damage into her. Vanessa defense break on that Fuki. Rakan skill 1 doing some serious damage on that Fuki. Triana follows up. And there we go, Juno cuts in.
Well, if this Fuki gets to move, he's going to do some serious damage. So Livert decides to take him out before he has the chance.
Yes, he does move out of this match, and it's 3 units versus 2 units. Jan with the Juno and Merlong. Livert with the Rakan. Praha, Vanessa. Here we go. Rakan into Merlong.
Well, once again in this match, Rakan being the MVP, and I think Rakan's going to match this, wrap this up. The Juno, I mean, she can kind of strip the buffs off Rakan, but I don't think it's quite going to be enough once Merlong goes down.
There we go, Merlong collapsed into Rakan collapsed into Merlong, provokes him in the brink of death. I think Rakan has reclaimed himself from last weekend and is the MVP of this match. Praha sleeping that Juno, but doesn't work on her. Skill 1 into Vanessa. Anyone's match? No.
Possibly not, but this Rakan, I'm sure if I was in the next round, I think Guts is going to face Livert. Guts will want to think about banning out that Rakan and free-banning it, because the Rakan has been a real MVP in this match. What also I want to point out is Ragdoll was not picked, because Livert uses those single target damage dealers, the Rakan and the Leona, that Ragdoll is not strong yet, so Jan knew he couldn't pick the Ragdoll anyway.
There we go, Rakan with that final blow, taking out that Juno. Clean sweep from Livert, 2-0. What a strong second match right here from Livert.
Amazing. Yeah, Jan 37 there, sadly out of the competition. Livert with another 2-0 clean sweep there. And when it comes down to 3 versus 1 there, Baus, it's a very hard hill to climb when you have nothing really to work with anymore. Exactly,
Adam. There was pretty much nothing that Jan could do from that point. Livert, actually his playstyle does so well against Jan's, because Jan, the Ragdoll counters those AoE units, but Livert doesn't really play that kind of style. He doesn't play CC, he likes to play single target, the Rakan and the Leona, and those units just do so well against Jan. The match was kind of favored in Livert's favor before he began, and he executed it to perfection.
Absolute perfection indeed, and we have ourselves another player who progresses to the next round. Commiserations, Jan, but viva las Livert. He's going to go all the way through to face Guts in the next round here. You can see here on our bracket, Livert versus GutsTheBERSERK is going to be your second best of 5 losers round. Final later on today, one of those players will get one of those seats in the Europe Cup and join either Elmo or Chene after their match coming up later on as well. So we have 4 players already determined for that second round. We've got 2 more lower bracket first rounders coming your way. It's going to be exciting to see who is going to go all the way. 2 big matchups coming your way. If you've just joined us, wow, it's been non-stop entertainment from start to finish, and we've got some massive matchups coming away, including PinkRoid versus Drakule, which is right around the corner. That is next up, our best of 3 here. PinkRoid, Drakule. We saw Drakule compete last week, and we're actually quite excited about what he has in his locker. It seems that he's got quite a lot to give to us here on broadcast, to showcase. But PinkRoid here, tell us more about. I mean, this is a fantastic player we know a lot about.
Yes, I personally know a lot about him, Adam, because he is my guildmate. So I'm not completely unbiased in this match, but I am expecting Drakule to pose a really strong challenge to PinkRoid, who is the highest ranked ladder player we have in the tournament. He didn't make it through last weekend, but I'm fully expecting him to bring everything he can to take the match here today.
Indeed, and he has an opponent here in Drakule who we talked about as well, who PinkRoid is clearly a very seasoned summoner, but Drakule has a lot to offer as well here. What can you tell us about this player here, Killer?
Ooh, Drakule is versing PinkRoid, so I'm just curious if he's changed up his draft or his playstyle to prepare for PinkRoid. But we can see he likes to go with those speed leads, he likes to go with that CC comp. He's got a high win rate for the season 16 and 17. I'm curious to see if he continues to use those units against PinkRoid, or he has come up with some kind of surprise maybe. So curious to see how that turns out. Yeah,
we saw last weekend as well, days 1 and 2. You guys may have been watching last weekend as well, but the 2 days were very different. Day 1, it felt like play was a lot more aggressive. Day 2, play was a lot more defensive to a degree. So it'll be interesting because Drakule was part of our day 1 show. So is he going to come in aggressive? Is he going to try and make a claim for that that position in the next round against PinkRoid? He has to get a best of 3 victory here to continue in the competition. Will it happen? We're going into set 1. It is time for pick and bans. Over to Baus and to Killer.
Here we go. Set 1, match 3. Drakule versus PinkRoid. Best of 3 winner moves on to losers bracket round 2. Here you go. Lulu gets the pre-ban. Tiang Lang gets that pre-ban from Drakule for PinkRoid side, knowing PinkRoid has that Tiang Lang up his deck to use anytime.
I'm really happy to see that Lulu pre-ban. That means we're going to see probably a more exciting match than we otherwise would do.
Lulu pre-bans are exciting. Here we go. PinkRoid very quickly with that Okeana's first pick. Drakule responding very quickly with that Merlong and Fight and Bison. And locks it in. PinkRoid goes with that Ganymede as the second unit. Brings out that Water Ryu, aka more Street Fighter skin. Locked in as the third unit.
I love the draft from PinkRoid, incredibly aggressive. And on the other hand, Drakule, incredibly defensive. Those two fat HP leads. I wonder if PinkRoid is going to have enough damage to get through Drakule's units.
Here we go. Drakule drafts up Fran for his third unit. Diana for his fourth unit. PinkRoid has 20 seconds to decide on his 2 final units. He's not moving as quickly as he was in those first 3 units. What will he draft up?
We do see the Fran there in place of what would usually be a Lulu, and I think that Fran might be on double Nemesis Will, which is a usual kind of counter to the Wateroo that we see on PinkRoid's side.
Here we go, Changpunk and Clara gets drafted up from PinkRoid's side. Drakule brings up that Leo. Leo's locked in. Few seconds for the bans. I'm curious to see what gets banned.
This is incredible. We get to see Clara action today. I wonder if she's going to miss or if she's going to land her strips and stuns. But the Clara, if it moves before the Wateroo, that is quite a nice counter to the Fran because it will trigger the Fran's Nemesis, but it will stun the Fran.
Hopefully, she might stun. She might not stun. Here we go. Changpunk gets the ban. Leo gets the ban. Set 1 is underway. PinkRoid versus Drakule 0-0, best of 3. Who will take this first set? I'm curious to see who will take that first turn. Ryu goes first. Here we go. Goes first. Manages to strip 3 out of 4 units.
Well, I guess I was wrong. It is not a Nemesis Fran. It is a tanky Fran. But so it's not really going to cut in. And Pinky is in control right now.
Here we go. Okeanos goes for the reset on Fran, misses the reset. Clara follows up on Pinky's side, stuns that Fran, very crucial. Ganymede moves on to Bison. There we go. Ryu hits that Fran. Defense breakers up on Fran. Okeanos, Rain of Stuns, doing some damage. Ganymede resets Okeanos. Okeanos taking another turn right there. Resets that Merlong. Skill 2 and 3 are on cooldown.
Yeah, at the moment we see that PinkRoid has the Scanioki combo, so it's all about the missed resets, it's all about the speed, the artifact, and the rune quality if PinkRoid manages to pull off this control.
There we go, Rain of Stones taking out that Fran from Drakule's side. Ryu goes skill 1 into Diana. Diana has that defense break and attack break on her side. Clara doing some damage onto that Diana. Ganymede, additional turn into Diana. Here we go. Diana not looking too healthy. Ryu takes her out. Water unit takes out Diana. PinkRoid looking very healthy.
Incredibly healthy, Killer. I think PinkRoid is about to wrap up this match. He just has such fast units on violent runes with the artifact quality to back it up, to do that extra damage and to take out those units of Dracules one by one.
Here we go, Merlong, skill 1 into Okeana's defense break lands. Ryu counters and takes out that Fight and Bison. Drakule with the Merlong. PinkRoid with 4 units. Ryu goes into Merlong, takes him out. PinkRoid takes it out 1-0. Very, very fast match right there from PinkRoid and Drakule. I'm very curious to see the next match from these 2 players.
Yeah, Ryu there with a tornado kick to see things out. I mean, Drakule didn't seem to be able to find a way into that matchup there in that first set. I mean, it just PinkRoid felt so strong. What can Drakule do here, Baus? It doesn't feel like there's much really you can do when someone's got that amount of quality in their units.
You know what, that was an incredibly one-sided game, but at the same time, most of the RNG did go in PinkRoid's favor, landing those strips and stuns. He did miss a couple of resets, but it was enough for him to take the match. Drakule actually had a lot of units that would traditionally counter PinkRoid's draft, but he didn't have access to the Lulu. He's going to have access to the Lulu in the next match, so I wonder if he's going to pick that up. That's going to be a lot more scary for PinkRoid to deal with.
Yeah, totally. Can the Lulu make all the difference? We'll have to find out. It's time for set number 2 already. And obviously, it's advantage PinkRoid here. Drakule's got it all to play for. He needs to win 2 on the bounce. What is going to happen? Again, let us know in the chat who you are optimistic is going to go through to the next round. Here we go. Picking bad time.
Here we go, guys. Set number 2, PinkRoid 1, best of 3, Drakule 0. Pre-bans are in. Okeanos gets the pre-ban. Fire and Barson gets that pre-ban as well. Few seconds, both players to decide what will they draft up against each other. Drakule looking for a tiebreaker. PinkRoid looking for a clean sweep to moving on to the next round. Merlon gets drafted up by Drakule very quickly. First pick. PinkRoid goes with the Sierra for first picks. Very strong speed leader there. Gets locked in. 20 seconds to decide on his second unit. Goes with the Changpang. Locks in that Changpang.
Well, PinkRoid not taking the Lulu, so he lets Drakule take the Lulu. Once again, I think we're going to see a very similar match to last time round.
Here we go, Drakule goes with that Kinky and that Lulu for his second and third unit. PinkRoid goes with that Water Ryu, and Tianglang comes out to play Light Panda.
Yes, the Light Panda. That's actually a really early Tianlang pick, especially because Drakule doesn't have any attack bar boosting units that I can see. I think PinkRoid is just bringing the Tianlang for the additional damage from artifacts and the strip in order to take control of the match and take out Drakule's units as quickly as he can.
Here we go, Drakule responds with that Feng Yang and the Nikki for that 5th unit. Something we haven't seen from Drakule before. Nikki locked in. PinkRoid flashing that Xerath LD unit of his own. Does not lock it in.
I want to see that Xerath. Please bring out the Xerath. Oh wow, he actually brings out the Xerath. Incredible scenes.
Xerath locked in from PinkRoid side. Hold on to your seats, guys. This match is going to be one of the exciting matches. A Nikki and a Xerath both in there. The bans are going to come in any moment now.
And both of these units get let through. Battle of the rare light dark underrated units here right now.
Here we go, Tianglang and Lulu gets banned out. Here we go, set number 2, PinkRoid 1, Drakule 0, best of 3. Match is underway. Ryu taking that first turn, managing to strip 2 out of the 3 units. Changpang follows up, pushes back the attack bar. Feng Yang and Merlon but fails to push back. That Kinky Sierra goes from PinkRoid side, landing the bomb on Kinky, takes him out. Xerath follows up.
This is incredible, killer. The Nikki is still on the match pitch though. She does have that heal, she does have that skill 3 that does a lot of damage. So I wonder if PinkRoid is going to be able to take out that Nikki whilst he still can.
There we go, Ryu landing that attack break on that Nikki. Changpang goes for the strip, manages to strip, not much, but lands that glance in. Here we go, Merlon, skill 2 and 3 on cooldown. Xerath, skill 2 available. Will he go for the heal or will he go for the skill 1 damage? PinkRoid about to take a turn. What will he do? Goes for the heal. Nikki, skill 3 available on Drakule's side. Here we go, guys. Goes with skill 3. Some damage on PinkRoid side.
That was actually a strange choice to use that heal and cleanse right there when Nikki was about to use her skill 3. I think I would have saved it. At the same time, I think PinkRoid is still in control. He has more units, he has more damage. I suppose the Feng Yang is kind of a sitting duck right there, to be honest. Not sure about that Feng Yang pick.
Huge additional proc from that Sierra, landing a second bomb on Feng Yang, taking out Feng Yang and Nikki with that detonate. PinkRoid 1-0 over Drakule with the 4 units versus Merlon with 1 HP. Changpang takes him out with skill 1. Here we go. See you later, Merlon. PinkRoid 2-0 moves on to the next round. That was very exciting to watch. Congratulations to both players.
Indeed, 2-0, 2-0, 2-0. It's unbelievable, really. I mean, PinkRoid there showing that he is exactly what we all expected, a bit of a goat when it comes to Summoners World Arena. And this has been a great display. I thought you made a really good point there as well, Baz, talking about, whether or not, PinkRoid in that situation, you may have done it differently and not used the heal prior to a skill 3 coming at them. But he managed to do it and still get away with it. Could that cost him in the next round, or do you think he was just feeling a little bit bolshy, a bit kind of a wind in his sails and thought, you know what, I'm going to do it, and I've got this in the bag?
I mean, I think that was part of it. He knew that he was already... The victory is pretty much wrapped up and he could do what he liked, so maybe he was just showboating a little bit. I don't know whether he was. In the next match, he's definitely going to have a much tricky opponent as well, so he's going to have to focus either way, but I really, really enjoyed those 2 matches right there.
Yeah, fantastic stuff. And again, just goes to show that it makes a massive difference, the units you pick and ban, how it affects the game. We can see here our bracket right now. PinkRoid versus ThatAapje later on is your 3rd losers round 2 best of 5 match coming up here on the broadcast. It's going to be a sensational on that one. Again, all of our players, with a 2-0 victory going into these next rounds, they're they're going to be very warmed up. They're going to feel very confident going into this because they have a bit of an advantage having had a match already today. Our next matchup, though, is going to be an absolute beauty. We talked about it in the pre-show. I know that particularly Killer was excited for this one. Viilipytty is in action. Last year's Europe Cup champion versus SmokeZzz. This is a really big game here. You know, it would also be, it would kind of almost be unheard of, the fact that the Europe Cup champion from last year, 2020, would not even qualify for the Europe Cup this year. I mean, Baus, I'll ask you both very quickly. Baus, do you think that, you know, it would be a shock for everyone if Viilipytty didn't manage to overcome SmokeZzz here?
I mean, it would be a shock in the wider sense of the term, but at the same time, SmokeZzz is a really strong opponent if he does decide to challenge Viilipytty on speed. So it would be a shock, but at the same time, I wouldn't be incredibly shocked because SmokeZzz is a very tough opponent for Viilipytty. Yeah,
I mean, SmokeZzz is a great opponent for Viilipytty. Why do we like him, Killer? What do we think is positive about either player here? What do you like about this matchup in particular?
I actually like both players evenly because they both play an aggressive playstyle. We didn't see that from SmokeZzz last weekend, but I'm hoping to see that from SmokeZzz this weekend. But I'm looking at Viilipytty's drafting from last week, and I hope he brings the same drafting because it's very aggressive. I like that playstyle. It's quick and it's interesting. Everyone enjoys it, and it just happens.
Indeed, I think there's potentially some pressure on Viilipytty's side here, as of we've just been talking about. But for SmokeZzz, this is a great opportunity here to capitalize on that. What do you like about his most picked lineup here, Bals?
I have my eye on that Tableau. That's a unit that Viilipytty used a lot in last weekend's matches, and I wonder if they're going to be competing for that Tableau in pre-bans or maybe in the early picks, or if they're going to be competing for some other units. But either way, I really hope that SmokeZzz does not bring out his draft from last weekend and he brings out his traditional aggressive playstyle.
We'd love to see some aggression. I know you guys watching as well would love to see some aggression. Hopefully, it's going to happen in this next matchup. This is our last best of 3 of the day before the best of 5s take place. So let's find out who is going to walk through to the next round. Is it SmokeZzz or is it Viilipytty? Over to you, boys. It's pick and ban, set 1.
Here we go, guys. Hold on to your seats. Match number 4. First set, Viilipytty versus SmokeZzz. 60 seconds for those pre-bans. Both players considering those pre-bans for each other.
As I said before, I wonder if we'll see a Tableau pre-ban. Otherwise, we might see some Chungpong, some Okeanoses. Viilipytty does have that Nasha, which is quite a scary first turn, really hard-hitting unit as well, so SmokeZzz might want to think about banning that one out as well.
Both players taking all the time given to them to consider their pre-bans. It's crucial, it's important, and they're taking it seriously. Here we go. 15 seconds for the pre-bans. They are in. Chungpong and Nasha get banned. SmokeZzz knowing Viilipytty has that Nasha and Viilipytty banning that Chungpong out. Here we go. Few seconds to decide on their drafting for this first set.
Those are some solid pre-bans, and I wonder if Viilipytty is going to pick up something like the Ciara for that speed lead early on or not.
Here goes with that Carnal first pick. Fire and Bison. SmokeZzz flashing the Antares.
Wow.
And flashing him in and out as his first pick. Does not pick him, takes him out. He was just having a little fun. Locks in Okeanos first pick. Tableau second pick. Takes Tableau on his side. It's locked in SmokeZzz side.
Oh yes, Killer. Finally, SmokeZzz is bringing out his big guns. Okeanos, Tableau, first turn, damage, boom, boom, boom. That's what we're going to see. That's what I hope to see. And unfortunately, Viilipytty is not doing the same.
Here we go. Viilipytty goes with Merlong Annabelle as a response to SmokeZzz's first 2-pick draft. Here we go. SmokeZzz with the 3rd and 4th unit to be locked in any moment now. Goes with a Ganymede for that 3rd unit. 4th unit, what is it going to be? I'm curious to see SmokeZzz pull out that 4th unit any moment now.
Well, it might be a Barbara. We know he likes his Barbara. I also like the fact that Viilipytty picked up the Annabelle instead of the Lulu, which is a similar unit but a lot more defensive than the Annabelle.
There we go, SmokeZzz locks in that Chiwu. 2 speed leads on SmokeZzz's side. Looking very healthy in this meta. Viilipytty goes with a Rakuni on for his 4th slot for his drafting. And 10 seconds to come up with his 5th unit for his draft. What is it going to be?
I think a Chow would be a perfect pick here, and I know Viilipytty does like Chow.
Viilipytty brings up his own speeder leader with the Sierra locked in as his 5th unit. He's got that HP leader skill, that speed leader skill. Options are there for Viilipytty. Locked in. SmokeZzz, Bossy said it before. Barbara comes out to play from SmokeZzz's side. It's locked in any moment now for the bans.
I love that Barbara. That Barbara is going to be able to enable SmokeZzz to take in a lot of damage. I really don't like that Ciara pick actually. She brings a speed lead, but she's not really bringing that much into Viilipytty's defense in order to stop SmokeZzz from taking him out.
There we go. Carnal from Viilipytty side gets banned out. Barbara gets banned out. And there we go. Set number 1, match 4. SmokeZzz vs Viilipytty 0-0. Who will take that first turn? Here we go. Chiwu taking that first turn from SmokeZzz side, goes for the strip, manages to strip the 3 units with Will. Okeanos follows up on SmokeZzz side after Chiwu. Rain of Stones is available, goes for Rain of Stones, stuns 3 out of 4 units. Annabelle still not stunned.
I'm surprised he didn't ban out the Annabelle, given that his Okeanos was the main source of damage. So banning out one of those 2 water units I think would have been a little bit more helpful than banning out the Carnal.
There we go, Tableau from SmokeZzz side, about to take a turn. All his skills are available, opts in with skill 2, additional turn, Annabelle stun, Viilipytty side all stun, Rukuni comes out of stun, Sierra's out of stun, Okeanos goes with skill 2 into Sierra, lands that reset. Chiwu from SmokeZzz side is available with skill 1 and skill 2, goes skill 1 onto that Rukuni.
Rukuni is a very rogue pick indeed. I have seen Viilipytty use the Rukuni before in actually recent months, even though Rukuni is not a unit you'll see from any other player pretty much. It's probably a really well-runed Rukuni, and that's why Viilipytty uses it.
There we go, Rain of Stones available again for Okeanos. Lands 2 stuns out of the 4. Okeanos does some serious damage. Rukuni comes out. Annabelle takes a turn, sleeps Okeanos, additional turn. Merlong with the Reckless Assault. Dragon's Dance available at his disposal. What will he opt in? Goes with the defense break with skill 1 into Tableau. Additional turn from that Merlong. Goes for the Tableau, takes him out. Viilipytty takes out that Tableau with that Merlong.
Well, it looks like it's probably over now. I think Viilipytty is going to take this one. I think SmokeZzz is actually paying for kind of leaving those 2 water units in, and therefore meaning that Okeanos was missing all of those stuns and not managing to take out Viilipytty's units whilst he still could take in all those turns early on in the match.
There we go, Annabelle does it again, sleeps that Okeanos. Okeanos missing a turn from that sleep. Chiwu takes a turn, goes with a skill 3 AoE strip, does some damage to Viilipytty side. Most units not looking very healthy. Okeanos gets reset. Gani skill 1 into Sierra. Rukuni healing his team up on Viilipytty side.
Indeed, this Rukuni is actually doing work for Viilipytty right now, because even if the units are stunned, Rukuni's passive still kicks in. And once Annabelle gets to use that Girl's Prayer, then Viilipytty is going to be extremely healthy compared to SmokeZzz.
And like you said, Viilipytty looking healthy after Annabelle using skill 2. Okeanos Rain of Stones manages to stun 4 out of 4 units. Is it enough for SmokeZzz side with the 3 units? Goes for the reset onto Sierra, lands it. Sierra is stunned, everyone's stunned on Viilipytty side. Merlong with additional turn into Okeanos, lands the defense break.
This is actually a really tanky Ciara. The Ciara is taking so much time for SmokeZzz to take out. Just with the Rukuni sustain pretty much has been enough for Viilipytty to survive all of the damage that SmokeZzz is bringing in.
There we go, Chiwu skill 1, sleeping that Sierra. Sierra not looking too healthy. Merlong into Chiwu, defense break, lands. Ganymede from SmokeZzz side takes out that Sierra. Raccoon skill 1 into Chiwu with that defense break, does some serious damage.
Fascinating stuff. Raccoon actually doing some legit damage on Chiwu right there, and it looks like Viilipytty is about to wrap up this match.
What a turnaround. Viilipytty with 3 units. SmokeZzz with Ganymede left the 1 unit. Here we go. Merlong takes out that Ganymede. Viilipytty takes that first point. Best of 3, 1-0. Viilipytty 1, SmokeZzz 0. In 1 minute, the match will go underway for the second.
Yeah, what a great set that was there. So back and forth all the way. We love that. See it serve back and forth. I think that the game changer there as well was taking out that Tableau from Viilipytty there and putting him back to 3. SmokeZzz couldn't really, I mean, he sent all 4 of them to sleep at one stage. We thought, okay, there's a chance here, but I think that was the game changer, wasn't it? That kind of taking out that first unit, Valve, really made the difference.
Exactly. Once you take out that first unit, you put yourself in a much stronger position to take out further units. That's pretty much it. As for the match overall, you know, I think Viilipytty, he had a lot of sustain, he had those HP leads. I think SmokeZzz, if he had banned out the Anivil instead of the Carnal, then he might have been in a much more favorable position. But you never know, because Viilipytty has incredibly strong runes, and that's why he is the reigning champion of the EU Cup.
Absolutely spot on. That is why he is the reigning champion. Whether or not he'll get through, we'll have to find out. There are 2 sets to play for. SmokeZzz has to win both of these to stay in the competition, and a running trend right now is 2 0s back to back to back. So will it be a full house? We'll have to find out. It's time for pick and bans. Over to you, boys.
Here we go, set number 2, SmokeZzz versus Viilipytty. SmokeZzz looking for that tiebreaker, Viilipytty looking for that clean sweep to moving on to that next round. Pre-bans are in, Barbara gets pre-banned, Okeanos gets pre-banned. First pick, SmokeZzz goes with that fire and Bison Carnal locked in. Viilipytty responds with taking that tablet on his side, bringing out that Nasha as his second unit, and it's locked in on Viilipytty's side.
That is beautiful, very shiny draft from Viilipytty, 2 light units, including his Nasha. I'm really excited to see how much damage this Nasha is able to do.
Here we go, SmokeZzz goes with that Changpang second unit, Chiwu speed lead as the third unit, Viilipytty bringing out that 2A Esha for his third unit, 15 seconds to decide on his fourth unit. I'm very curious to see what he will drop.
This is really interesting stuff. I wonder if Viilipytty is going to bring out another light unit. Maybe the Jin, the light ninja, will quite suit this draft with this 30% speed lead for light.
Almost. He brings out a speed lead, but it's Water Ryu. More comes out locked in from Viilipytty's side. SmokeZzz responds with a Leo, and the 5th unit any moment now is coming out from SmokeZzz's side.
Well, Leo is a very strong counterpick to Viilipytty. Viilipytty would probably want to ban out that Leo no matter what. So SmokeZzz is going to have to think of a draft with his remaining 4 units to deal with what Viilipytty has to bring to the table. Probably something really tanky, maybe something with revive with some sustain.
He brings out Samath for his final unit with that strong speed lead and a passive from Samath locked in on SmokeZzz's side. Viilipytty 20 seconds to decide on his final unit to draft up against SmokeZzz. What is it gonna be?
Vili needs to bring some damage. If the Nasha is banned out, he's very low on damage, but there's plenty of options for him to take. The Chongpong and the Carnal are not available, nor is the Okeanos, but hopefully he has something else up his sleeve.
And he does indeed, and brings out that Diana, gets locked in from Viilipytty's side. Few moments, both players taking to ban 1 monster from each other's decks.
Interesting Diana pick. I wonder if that signals a ban on the Carnal rather than the Leo there.
There we go, Carnal gets banned out like you predicted, boss. Esha gets banned out. Both players opting in with that speed lead. SmokeZzz having the 33 speed lead from Samath. Viilipytty having the Tableau speed lead from Tableau. Here he goes. Set 2 is underway. Leo taking that first turn like always from his passive. Who will he choose to hit? Hits that Nasha, doing some damage. Diana increases attack by passive. About to take a turn. Goes with skill 1 into Samath. Samath, Nemesis gets propped.
Yeah, Nemesis Samath, and also respect to Viilipytty. Well done. He obeyed the golden rule. Don't transform with Diana on turn 1. He didn't, and he might get rewarded for that.
Rule 101, don't transform with Diana on that first turn in RTA. Changpang landing the strips and the 4 units with the glancing. That could be huge. Nasha takes a turn into Changpang. There's the defense break. Tableau follows up on Viilipytty's side, managing to stun 2 units. Chiwu misses a turn due to that stun, comes out of the stun. Diana skill 1 into Changpang. Changpang not looking healthy. Ryu, aka More, skill 1 into Changpang again. Here we go. Leo about to take a turn.
Well, I think that was a big mistake from SmokeZzz there, hitting the Nasha instead of the Diana. The Diana gets to take out the Chongpong. Otherwise, the Chongpong would have moved first, and then he could have used his skill free. So I think that was a little bit of a misplay. And it's kind of Diana against the world almost, because Leo is limiting the damage and effect of the Nasha and the Tableau, but it is enough because SmokeZzz does not have enough damage to take out this Diana, unless Leo gets an ignore defense off.
That Diana taking now that Changpang earlier, but just before that doing some serious damage into Leo. Leo not looking too healthy. Nasha has the Glancy, goes for Leo, fails to take him out. Diana has multi-hits to take out that 1 HP bar from the Leo, goes into Leo. Leo's out of the match. 4 units versus SmokeZz's side. That's Samath and that Chiwu. Here we go, Diana. Additional proc puts up that shield. Looking healthy on Viilipytty's side.
Another smart play from Viilipytty. You can really showing his experience right now. Again, with the Diamond, not transforming in order to take out the Samath, because the revenge damage from Samath might take out the Diana if he crits. As we feel just there, in Unicorn form, the Diana actually survives the Samath crit.
There we go. One unit against the world. Chiwu versus Roy Diana. Nasha tableau. Will he take him out? Hits Nasha. Doesn't take her out. Diana skill 1 into Chiwu. Roy skill 1 into Chiwu. Takes him out. 2-0. Viilipytty clean sweep. Moves on to round number 2 later on this evening. And Viilipytty 2-0. Clean sweeps all around from that first bracket.
Wow. I mean, can you guys at home believe this? 2 zeros times 4, back to back to back to back. Unbelievable scenes there. Viilipytty proving why he won the Europe Cup last year. Just continuously proves with the strength, the aggressive nature as well, the play. I mean, Baus, I think you guys said it exactly as it is. You know, there didn't seem to be, SmokeZzz didn't have the power to reciprocate what Viilipytty was chucking at him.
Indeed, actually, I think in that most recent match, it was a little bit more evenly matched because SmokeZzz had that Leo to limit the damage and the effects of Tableau and Nasha. It was really only Diana he had to deal with, so if he just kept hitting that Diana, focusing down that Diana, then he might have won the match. But for some reason, he decided to focus the Nasha instead. I think that was costly. Viilipytty, such an experienced player, played so smoothly and just wrapped it up.
Yeah, and it sets up an almighty losers bracket round 2. Playing for a place. Viilipytty versus SaPyn is going to be huge. A great game to round up the day. We've got 4 best of 5s coming your way. We now have that first best of 3 rounds done, dusted, sorted. We move on. Only best of 5s now, and these are where it really counts because we get to have 5 sets potentially for our summoners to go head to head, which anything is possible. We could see some real upsets this afternoon. I can't wait to see what happens. Before that happens though, we are going to be taking a break, but of course, we want to give you guys something to take away with you. A little souvenir courtesy of us here at the virtual desk and at Come To Us and at Summoners War. On screen right now, you have yourselves a code. That's there for you guys. 100 energy and 50 summoning stones just for you wonderful people. Use that code, utilize it, enjoy it. We're going to take ourselves a quick break. We'll be back after this with the best of 5s playing for a place in the Europe Cup every single game. Do not go anywhere. It's going to be huge.
Wanted to bring to your attention again, as we do every single SWC broadcast. Camilla here. You want to see a sudden Ciara getting hit by Drakule. Look at looking to get that full team stripping back our footprint.
He did not pull the Champang yet. I would have thought I would see Sierra first pick. He goes to the
Okay, here we go. Oh, Lucian, it's over. Lucian, it's the 12,000th pick.
Mr. Chung is going to be this year's SWC champion.
This is war. Lead, follow, or get out of the way. I'll show you who's boss. The world is now a real-time battlefield. Join the global battlefield. Summoner's War, Lost Centuria. Download now.
bring to your attention, again, as we do every single SWC broadcast.
He did not pull the Champang yet. I would have thought I would choose Sierra first pick. He goes to the
Okay, here we go. Oh, Lucian, it's over. Lucian, it's the 12,000th.
Yo, those intro beats have got me hyped. And that's exactly what we are right now because it is Summoners War World Arena Championship 2021. My name is Adam Savage. Welcome back in, guys. It is day number 3 of our EU prelim finals, and it has been hot so far. Spicy. It's all been kicking off. We've had 4 back-to-back 2-0s, walking through our players all the way through to the next round, which is the make or break. It's all about getting to the final positions in the Europe Cup. We have 4 of them up for grabs. Bringing us all the action, of course, is Baus and Killer with me here on the desk. Guys, it's been an amazing experience thus far. I mean, Baus, we've seen really players that we expected to get through have done exactly that and done it with a proper bang as well.
Exactly, Adam. To be honest, we didn't really have any surprises in the first round, but at the same time, all of those 2-0 victories were executed with aplomb, and I just really enjoyed all of those aggressive gameplays and fast matches.
Me too. Now, as you can see right now, before we get into the nitty-gritty, we are in our virtual studio once more. You can see we've been doing this like kind of same missing hands gag for a long time here. If you're brand new, oh, our hands have gone. Not really. Virtual studio. You see? Perfect. For those who've been here many times before, thought they're doing it again. We're doing the virtual broadcast gag again. Hey, it's a good one, okay? We're here, obviously, in our virtual studios all around the world because we can't be together due to COVID-19. As you can understand, it's about our safety and your safety as well. So thank you for bearing with us, watching this online. Hopefully next year we'll be together in the same room, enjoying this as a unit together, as a squad. It's going to be so great. This is the next phase of the competition now. The overview, as you can see here on screen, kind of gives you a bit of an update on how we actually got to this position as well. August 21st, that is today's date. You can see here, that is when we kind of find the last 4 Europe Cup finalists who'll be going through to the Europe Cup later this year. 4 were chosen last weekend, 4 today in the lower bracket finals. We've had the first 4 matchups, the best of 3. So that was players who didn't win any matches last weekend, went head to head. Now we have players that have won both today and won 1 match last week. It's exciting times. I mean, let's go through this. The bracket's going to pop up on the screen in a second and we can really start getting into it. Baus, let's talk about the matchups. And this is the last chance for these players. As a player, like you are, as a professional summoner as well, what are the players going through right now? How important is it to actually qualify for the Europe Cup?
I mean, honestly, Adam, there is so much on the line, especially for these new players. Being able to make their way through to their first ever EU Cup is a really big deal. So I'm sure there'll be a lot of nerves, but also at the same time a lot of excitement at the possibility of making your name and making it through to the EU Cup 2021.
Yeah, I mean, Killer, $10,000 top prize Europe Cup. It's not. I mean, it's a relatively nice sum of money. Let's be honest.
Yeah, $10,000. First thing I'll do is buy all my friends some packs. First thing, straight away.
Love it, love it. Right, we're about to get into the heart of things here and talk about our matchups and break them all down for you. The first one is a beauty. As you can see on screen right now, Elmo versus Chene. Elmo qualified from earlier on this morning. Chene from last week here. For you guys, obviously, let us know in the chat who you think is going to go through here, because whoever wins this best of 5 goes through to the Europe Cup. Let's talk about our very first player here, Baus. I think Elmo is going to be our first one that we can break down here. We saw him in action earlier today, a 2-0 win, which was fantastic. But last year, when it comes to him as a player, what do we like about the way that he summons in this competition?
Well, he summons some very strong units and he uses them very aggressively. He likes that control playstyle, and I really like to see him bring something like that out. Unfortunately, it might not be so good against Chene's playstyle. Against the Ragdoll, all of those AoE units are not so strong against a Ragdoll-based team.
It's kind of a tongue twister, isn't it? AoE units. I'm with you 100%. Killer as well. You know, we've got the Ricky victory earlier on today. I mean, he actually went past Ricky relatively easily in that 2-0 victory here. But Chene is not going to be as easy, we presume. What do we like about Chene? We don't know much about Season 17. He hasn't played that much. But we know that Season 16, he looked pretty good.
What we know about Chene is that he's a mystery. You know, he plays that one season, he qualifies, and he lays back, not exposing too much of his playstyle to his opponents for that SWC championship. And you know what? We saw him play last week So it's not a mystery this week. So I'm very interested to see how Elmo would respond to Chene and this rematch.
Yeah, nothing gets juices flowing more than an enigma. That's exactly what Chene is. We're going to find out exactly how he's going to approach Elmo very shortly. But let's actually take a look at all the highlights from our players and how they got to be in this position going head-to-head in this make or break today. All you guys at home right now thinking, hey, I can see Chene and Elmo on screen. Are they playing right now? Am I missing it? No, you're not missing it. Last week, they actually went head-to-head in that first game, which actually knocked Elmo out. So they're now back going head-to-head again. It's a revenge match here for Elmo. A chance to play Chene once again to see if we can get through our first two games today, actually, of this kind of best of five, or actually both rematches, which is fantastic. It's great for us as well to witness, to bring you all the action, all the hype. Of course, let us know once again in the chat who you think is going to go through to the Europe Cup first seat. Joining the other four already that are progressing. Let's head into the pick and bans. It is the first of 5 potential sets here. Over to Baller and over. Over to Bouse and over to Killer.
Here we go, guys. Round 2, match 1, set 1. Chene versus Elmo 0-0, best out of 5. Kinky pre-ban comes out from Chene's side on Elmo's side. Elmo banning that, pre-banning that Okeanos from Chene's side. Chene first drafting Carnal, Fire and Bison on his deck.
Smart play by Chene actually, pre-banning the Kinky whilst Elmo didn't pre-ban the Ragdoll, Kinky being one of the strongest counters to Ragdoll there is.
We might see a Ragdoll, maybe our boss. Here we go, Elmo drafting up that Merlong and that Lulu for first and second pinks. Chene going with that Praha for the second unit. And what his third unit going to be?
Praha, interesting choice. Solid unit to bring that strip to set up for the Carnal AoE stuns, attack bar reduction and slow. On the other hand, we're seeing the Molong Lulu. Those two units also very strong against Ragdoll, so Chene might not want to pick that up too early on.
There we go, Chene waiting till that final seconds to bring out that Wind Monkey King. Locks it in for the third unit. Elmo, 20 seconds to decide how he counters that drafting from Chene.
Indeed, he could bring out something like a Ciara or this Diana that we see on the field. He's definitely going to have to bring in tanky units because he's bringing out a tanky draft in general so far.
Here we go, Elmo with that Diana for the third unit. Final second, brings out that Changpang for that fourth unit. Locks it in, Elmo with that Changpang. Chene, 2 units to draft up any moment now.
I do quite like the Changpang as well. If Chene has the Ciara right now, that would be a solid choice. He could even bring out an Artemil, which is a decent counter against Diana with the revenge stuns.
There we go, Chene drafts up that Antares and that Juno, locks them in. His drafting has completed. Elmo, 1 more unit for his drafting. What is it going to be? 15 seconds. His thinking about his choices, he's taking his time, and he's yet to respond.
Well, you can't take a Pontos, but if he decides to bring out something like a Chow, a heavy water damage dealer with the 3 fire damage units there, that would be quite a good choice.
Here we go, not a Chow, but it is a water unit. Xian comes out to play a bomber locked in as his 5th unit, and bans are about to come out any moment now.
Xian, the water joker, not a bad choice as well. That might be an auto ban for Chene, or Chene might want to ban something like the Molong or the Lulu to stop the sustain from Elmo if he thinks he can survive one of Xian's bombs.
Final seconds for the bans. Xian gets banned, Carnal gets banned, leader skills are gonna be opted in any moment now. What is Elmo gonna go with? They both go with the HP arena lead. Locked in, it's gonna be a tanky match. Here we go, Elmo versus Chene, set 1, best of 5. Who will take that first turn? Who will take that first point? Here we go, Changpeng taking that first turn. Skill 2 available, skill 3 available. Goes with the skill 2, manages to strip those 2 wheel units.
He does manage to strip those 2 wheel units, but there's no follow-up there anyway. At the same time, I'm really surprised that Elmo didn't ban out the Antares. Now his Diana can't really do much. Maybe he was thinking that Chene might buy the Diana, but he failed in those mind games. I am liking Shen's team at the moment.
Here we go, Shen's Juno stripping those will runes into dots. Here we go, Merlon goes with the skill 2. And the Monkey King revenges from his passive. Praha about to take a turn from Shen's side. Goes for the heal. Sleeps every single unit from Elmo's side. 1 turn sleep all the way around. Locked in.
That was a really impactful sleep. I'm surprised that he chose to wake up the Diana instead of going in on the stunned Changpeng. The Changpeng not used his skill 3 yet, so that skill 3 is going to be a little bit scary. But at the same time, Chene still looks very threatening with the Antares and the procs he will bring.
Here we go, Chene opting in all this damage into that Diana. Praha goes into Merlong. Antares, passive procs, attack buff is up, crit buff is up, slows on Diana, hits Diana, does some serious damage. Elmo's Lulu takes a turn, heals up that Diana, additional turn, puts up that immunity on Diana, looking healthy now. Tara's still doing some serious damage, but Diana's still on the field.
Well, what we're seeing right now is a little bit of Lulu versus Antares. Can Lulu do enough heals to mitigate the procs of Antares? But now Changpeng gets to use his skill 3, which is going to really help out Elmo's cause.
There we go. Diana skill 1 into Monkey King. Fails to stun him. Here we go. Juno skill 1 into Diana. Diana has 1 dot, 1 HP bar. Is she going to be out of the game? Lulu saves her maybe? Here we go. Merlong reckless assault into Antares. Antares not looking healthy. Lulu skill 1 into Antares. Monkey King revenges that Lulu. Does not defense break.
Well, it looks like this Antares is actually going to be taking out the Diana. Is going to survive by the skin of her teeth, but at the same time, I think that Monkey is going to move after the Diana. So she might as well go for the transform before she dies.
She goes for the transform before she dies. Hits that Monkey King. Revenges takes her out. Diana out of the game. Antares procs. Does some serious damage on Elmo's team. Praha skill 1 taking Merlong out. Changpeng and Lulu versus 4 unit on Chene's side.
Indeed, I just don't think Elmo has the damage anymore to take down any of Chene's units. Changpeng is a really strong unit with the support with the debuffs, but he just didn't have anyone to take advantage of what Changpeng was bringing. That Diana couldn't transform, it couldn't do that because Antares was on the field, and Elmo is getting punished for that.
Here we go, Lulu and friends all on her own on Elmo's side. Taking his time to decide what will he do. Will he put that skill 3 up or skill 1? Skill 1 into Antares, doesn't matter. This match is decided. Looks like Chene will be taking that first set 1-0, but Lulu's still on the field on her own and her friends are taken out.
Chene with the victory there in the first set. Also want to apologise to you both. I combined Baus and Killer in the last part and just called you Baller, which I think is actually kind of cool in a weird way. But I think that was a real kind of indication as well here that Chene is the damage. Elmo just could not keep up and just could not get into the game, Baus.
I love that, Adam. That's our couple name, Baller. Anyway, indeed. I mean, pretty much what I think was the deciding factor, and this is something we've seen a lot in last weekend's matches, the Diana versus Antares. kind of interaction. If you have Diana on the field and the opponent has anti-Ares, you didn't ban out the anti-Ares, they didn't ban your Diana. A little bit of mind games. This time Chene succeeded with his mind games. He left the Diana on the field and Elmo didn't ban out the anti-Ares, and the Diana just really couldn't do very much.
I know. I mean, Chene seems strong right now, Killer. I mean, what can Elmo do to get back into this?
Hopefully, either pre-ban the Diana or Antares, or pick the Diana or the Antares to get back into this. Here we go. Set number 2. Best out of 5. Still anyone's game. Pre-bans from the last match was Okeanos and Kinky. Are they going to come out to play this time around? 50 seconds remaining for the pre-bans to come in.
Indeed, I wonder if we're going to see a Ragdoll pre-ban or a Pontos pre-ban. We've seen neither of those light, dark, strong units being pre-banned yet.
Here we go. Elmo pre-bans that Ragdoll, just like you said, boss. Chene pre-bans that Changpeng that did some work in the last match. 2 seconds to decide how they'll draft up against each other. Elmo taking that first turn, picking and drafting that Fire and Bison onto his team. Chene responding with the Lulu and Merlong for his first and second unit.
Well, these are very standard early picks here. Chene not really scared of the Pontos. I guess he backs himself to have the strippers to deal with that Pontos if Elmo decides to bring him out. And I really hope that Elmo does decide to bring out the Pontos along with his other speed lead, the Sierra.
Here we go. Elmo goes with the Sierra and very strong speed lead. Okeanos for the third unit. Chene, how is he going to respond? Brings out that Juno, puts her in that third slot. Fourth slot still available from Chene's side to pick his fourth monster. What is it going to be against Elmo?
Well, I really like Elmo's draft as well. Nevertheless, he's bringing a lot of CC, a lot of control. Not so much strip at the moment, so he's going to have to think about how to deal with that Lulu. Either ban it out, but if Chene picks some must-ban units, then it's going to be interesting if Elmo is able to deal with that.
Triple Oracle on the field. Chene with that Juno and Praha for third and fourth unit. Elmo having that third Oracle on his side of the team. That Sierra was locked in as the second unit, but he still has to pick his fourth and fifth final unit any moment now. From Elmo's side, drafting will come out.
Yes, Chene is very heavy on water, so I'm expecting Elmo to pick up some wind units as well as the stripper we see on the field here.
There we go, wind unit and the stripper, just like you said, boss. Savannah comes out to play. Shiwu with that speed lead and the stripper locked in from Elmo's side. Boss predicted it, Elmo listened, drafted it up, locked it in. Chene, one unit to draft up. How will he respond?
Chene, interestingly enough, he picked up that Praha, picked up the double oracles with their strip before Elmo even picked the Pontos. Maybe that was a little bit of an early Praha pick, but Praha is a solid, possibly underrated unit nevertheless.
There we go, Water Monkey King locked in for the 5th unit from Chene's side. Bans will come in any moment now from both players. Both players considering their options for the ban. Maybe some mind games happening right now.
Yes, interesting Water Monkey King pick because there is the Sierra and the Savannah both on Elmo's side. He can't ban both of those units, so I think Elmo is going to leave in the Monkey King.
Lulu gets banned, Savannah gets banned. Both players have put in their bans. Both players opting with their leader skills. Chene goes with the Merlong HP lead. Elmo goes with the Sierra speed lead. Here we go. Chene 1-0. Best of 5. Anyone's game. Second set is underway right now. Chiwu taking that first turn. Skill 3 manages to strip all the 3 will units. Okeanos follows up on Elmo's side. Stuns the Juno. Stuns the Merlong. Carnal follows up after Okeanos. This setup is very well speed-tuned. Sierra landing that bomb onto Praha, onto Chene's side. Doesn't take it out. It stuns it, but does not take it out. Okeanos got to take it out.
Incredible stuff, Killer. I think this matchup is actually heavily favored in Elmo's favor this time around. There are those 3 water units on the pitch, but at the same time, they have still been stunned. Nevertheless, the Sierra is going to carry hard. If Chene wants to take the match back, he's going to have to kill the Sierra as soon as he can.
Here we go. Juno takes a turn, stuns that Sierra. Kano goes into Praha. Praha not looking very healthy with the dot above her head. If she takes a turn, she will be out of the field. Here we go. Merlong skill 2. Additional turn. Reckless Assault is available. Goes into Sierra. Takes out that Sierra. Chene takes out Sierra from Elmo's side. Water Monkey King follows up after that. Merlong goes for the skill 2 AoE. Stuns that Okeanos. Gets some attack.
Well, never mind, Killer. The match has swung entirely in Chene's favor now with that Molong. Do you know what? That Praha focus that Elmo made, I think that was a big mistake because Praha doesn't really bring that much damage. In order to stop his Ciara dying from the units on the other side of the field, the Molong is the main threat to Ciara. He should have focused down either the Molong or the Water Monkey King, which also brings a lot of damage. He didn't do that, and now the match is over.
There we go, Molong taking out that Okeanos. Chene 2-0, Elmo 0, best out of 5. Don't rule him out just yet. Third match is underway in a minute.
Wow, the mystery man takes a 2-0 lead. The Molong there proving just the difference between the two sides there, Baus. Unbelievable from Chene.
Exactly, that Molong, even though it was water unit, his skill free is going to do 70% of the opponent's damage regardless of their attribute, and that's exactly what happened. That was the main threat to Elmo's Ciara. I think Elmo, he should have reset the Molong instead of the Praha, which was already stunned anyway, and then the match could have been a very different result. He chose not to do that, and he was unfortunately punished for it.
Yeah, 1-1 is very different to 2-0. You know, Elmo's got to win 3 sets on the bouncy, Killer. How does he do it?
You know, first of all, Elmo, speed tuning was on point, but he was not able to execute it. Hopefully this time around, he can execute it.
Well, let's see what happens. It is time to go into set 3. Can Chene clear this one up, make it 3-0, and get a place in the Europe Cup? Let's find out. Over to you, boys.
Here we go, match point for Chene. Here we go, Ragdoll and Changpang pre-bans from the last match. Are we going to see the same pre-bans from that first set? Set 3 is underway, both players, 40 seconds to decide the pre-bans, considering their options right now.
Well, you know what, Killer, this time round the Changpong is going to be available to Elmo, and that is a hard counter to the kind of Molongs and Lulus that Chene likes to bring. So I do favor Elmo a little bit more in this match potentially, but let's see how it actually happens in the match itself.
Elmo opts-ins with that Diana pre-ban. Chene opting with that Kinky pre-ban. That Kinky was from that first round. It is pre-banned. Chene takes the first option for his drafting. Goes with the Fire and Bison. Carnal locked in for his first unit. Chene goes with the Molong. And is it going to be a Lulu? It is a Lulu. Lulu locked in for second unit. Chene goes very quickly with that Okeanos second unit and that Praha for the third unit. Locked in, very quick drafting from both players. Elmo goes with the Juno.
Wow, back and forth so quick. The players are really confident in knowing what they do. The Dyna pre-ban does make sense. Now we see what's happening on the field. The Carnal being taken by Chene, therefore Elmo knew that he wanted to take out a Molong Lulu counter, and the Diana is the main Molong Lulu counter that Chene would have had at his disposal.
Exciting. Here we go. Elmo locks in Juno for third unit, Annabelle for fourth unit. Chene brings out that Wind Monkey King as the fourth unit. 10 seconds to decide on his final draft against Elmo. Is he going to come up with something interesting or something we've seen previously? 1 second. Water Monkey King comes out. Double Monkey King on Chene's side. Drafted in and locked in.
Well, that is a pairing killer I don't think we have seen in a very long time, if ever. I do like those picks there, though. The Wind Monkey King is a good unit against the Molong. Molong isn't able to take out the Wind Monkey King due to his damage reduction, and the Water Monkey King, just because of his element, does really well against all of Elmo's draft. I think Chene probably doesn't own a Chow, which is why he didn't pick the Chow.
Here we go. Elmo brings out that Antares. Drafted as his fifth unit. 20 seconds. Both players to opt in with their bans for this match. Taking that time to consider their options.
Yeah, indeed. In fact, in last weekend's matches, Chene would have picked the Water Demon in the place of the Water Monkey. It didn't work out quite so well for him. I think that's why he's moved the runes over to the Water Monkey. I'm expecting some potentially a Wind Monkey ban, potentially a Carnal ban here.
Here we go. Praha gets banned on Chene's side. Molong gets banned on Elmo's side. 10 seconds to opt in with their leader skills. Any moment now. Elmo versus Chene. And then here we go. And what other leader skills they're going to go with? I'm hoping Chene goes for Okeanos or the HP lead.
I think the 44% HP lead is a no-brainer on Elmo's side. He has the crit rate lead available, I guess. Interesting choice of Praha ban. I mean, she does have an element that does well against all of Elmo's units, but I'm surprised he's not scared of the Carnal and the other stuff that does a little bit more damage.
Here we go. Match set number 3 is underway. Match point for Chene. Is Elmo going to be able to take one more point on his side? Okeanos takes that first turn from Chene's side. What will he choose to go with? Goes with the Rain of Stones, lands a stun on Antares and Juno. Water Monkey King follows up into Antares, does some damage there with those multi-hits. Additional turn, skill 2 is available, hits everyone, stuns Annabelle. Along the way, Juno comes out of stun from her passive on Elmo's side.
We love to see it, but it was not quite enough damage to take out the Antares. Lulu is going to be able to heal back up this Antares, but that was a really fortunate stun from the Juno onto the Carnal, because the Carnal could have helped to finish off the Antares.
There we go, Annabelle, skill 3, landing 3-turn defense break all around on Shen's side. Okeanos into the Antares. Antares revenges with a revenge set, gets his passive proc, landing a slow all over Shen's side, defense break all over Shen's side, not looking very healthy for Shen. Elmo looking very, very healthy with this team.
Indeed, Elmo has all of the sustain, 3 of his units with sustain, Antares with the procs. That Annabelle skill 3 is incredibly powerful, and Chene does not have the cleanse to deal with it. I guess that Praha ban has actually worked out quite well for him, because the Praha could have healed up at this point. But either way, the armor break is still there, and Elmo is going to take this match.
That Wind Monkey King putting in some overtime, hitting that Annabelle, managing to stun her with his passive. Okeanos into Annabelle, Juno into Wind Monkey King. Wind Monkey King not looking too healthy. Lulu cleanses that Annabelle. Annabelle about to take a turn. Skill 1 is available. Does a sleeper wind unit? Does not. Takes another turn. Does a sleeper wind unit? It doesn't, but takes him out. Okeanos not looking too healthy on his own.
I think what we've seen in this match today, Killer, is that essentially Elmo has stolen Shen's draft and used it against him, and it's worked out perfectly for Elmo right here.
Here we go, Elmo taking it out, taking a point, making it 1-2, still match point for Shen, but we still have a minute for the next set, which could be a tiebreaker.
It could indeed. We have a fight back. The fight back is on. Finally, for the first time today in day number 3, we have a player who's managed to take a set off someone in the lead. Even things up a little bit here. 2-1. I mean, as you said there, Bao, so it was a great point to make that. Ultimately, Elmo using Shen's preferred units against him, kind of counteracting what he's used to doing.
Exactly, and in fact I really liked that pre-ban of the Diana, because he knew he was going to pick the Mo Long and the Lulu. He fully expected Chene to pick that Carnal first, so that he could pick up the second and third units that would be preferred, and the Diana was the main counter. Chene did not have the Diana at his disposal, and it was a shame, and Elmo was able to wrap that things up with all that sustain that he had.
Speaking of wrapping things up, can Chene do it in this next round? It is match point, as Killer said. Let's head in to Pick and Bans. It's set 4.
Set 4 indeed. Elmo looking for that tiebreaker with this set. Chene looking for that match point with this set. 60 seconds for the pre-bans. These are very crucial for both players. Here we go. Pre-bans are in. Annabelle gets pre-banned. Okeanos gets pre-banned. Few seconds, both players to decide how they'll draft up against each other.
Once again, as we saw for Jan in the earlier matches, Chene, the Ragdoll owner, doesn't even need the Ragdoll to be pre-banned, because there's just so many counters to Ragdoll in this meta, and I do wonder if Elmo is going to pick up the Mo Long, the Lulu, or the Carnal first.
Carnal, first pick for Elmo. Chene responds with the Mo Long and the Lulu. That combo is split up, and it's locked in for both players.
Well, this time round, Elmo does have the Chongpong at his disposal. He wants to pick up the Chongpong earlier. Don't think Chene has it, but at the same time, obviously one of the strongest counters to what Chene is showing on the field right now. The Diana is also available, but I don't know if you'll want to pick the Diana list early on.
Here we go, Elmo locking in that Sierra and Friend for second and third unit. Chene taking Diana and Antares in the same team. We haven't seen this before today in this match. Here we go. Chene locks it in. Third and fourth units, Antares and Diana. Elmo responds with the Kinky and one more unit. And the Automail double LD units locked in from Elmo's side. Strong response from them.
Finally, we get to see Elmo's shiny stuff. And I think I really like the fact that the Diana and the Antares has been brought out in the same draft for Chene. That's really smart, meaning that Elmo couldn't pick the main Diana counter. However, he's picked a soft Diana counter in the Arsenal, so we'll have to see how much stuns and how much work this Arsenal does.
Here we go. Chene locks in Kaki for his 5th unit. Both players considering their bans moving forward. 15 seconds to decide Elmo looking for a tiebreaker. Chene looking for that match point. Best out of 5. Fran gets the ban. Lulu gets the ban. No immunity. Here we go. Anyone's game. Merlong opted in. HP lead. Cardinal opted in. HP lead. Elmo 1. Chene 2. Best of 5. Who will win this match? Who will take the first move? Here we go. Cardinal taking that first turn. Who's he going to decide to hit?
Well, it doesn't really matter. All of the players on Chene's side have will runes. And interesting enough, both players banning out the sustain. So this might be a faster match than we would have otherwise expected.
There we go. Sierra landing a bomb onto that Merlong. Skill 1 into Merlong to gain that attack by increase. Diana puts that shield up. Here we go. Kaki takes a turn. Hits AoE onto Elmo's side, doing some serious damage onto that Cardinal. Kinky returns the favor. AoE onto Chene's side. Merlong stunned at the moment. Antares about to take a turn. Skill 2 is available. Here we go.
Well, Chene is saving his Molong Reckless because he knows he does not have the sustain. Skill 1 and Skill 2 are still really nice skills, but that Kaki is so much damage, almost taking out the Cardinal with his Skill 2. I think this Kaki is going to be a real MVP in this match. Elmo's going to have to take out that Kaki with the Sierra Bomb as soon as he can.
There we go, Diana transformed, risky Adamel on the field. Revenges does not stun her. She does some serious damage into Sierra on Elmo's side. Skill 1 into Sierra, takes her out, that's huge! Cardinal follows up on Elmo's side, lands the slow and a stun onto Chene's side. Is it going to be enough? Adamel hits that Antares with the defense break. Kinky follows up after Adamel failing to take him out. Shields up on Diana on Chene's side.
Wow, so much back and forth action today, Killer. Chene just went and he went with the Diana transform. 1 in 4 chance of getting stunned by the Artemore. It didn't happen. And he's being rewarded for his risky play right there.
There we go, Kaki taking out a unit. Kinky returning the favor, taking out a unit from the other side. Kaki taking out Kinky. Here we go, Automail on his own. Is he strong enough to take this match by himself? Skill 1 into Kaki. Merlong, defense break, lands on Automail. That is crucial.
I think so, but at this same time, this Kaki is such a strong Artemore counter. Don't think Artemore will survive.
There we go, Chene taking it out. 3-1, GG to both players. Chene moving up to that Europe Cup. Congratulations, interesting match. Both players did really well. Elmo, GG.
Woo, baby, we have our first qualifier through to the Europe Cup of the day. It is the mystery man himself. Chene goes through with a 3-1 victory over Elmo. And what a valiant effort it was from Elmo. As Killer said there, GG to both players. Great entertainment for all of us there. But sadly, Elmo goes out. But what a performance from him today. I'm glad that he got that first win under his belt earlier on. But what can you take away for Elmo from this competition, from this opportunity?
Indeed. Elmo, I was actually really impressed with his third match, the one that he managed to take off Chene with such a dominant draft. We know he has a lot of tools at his disposal, a lot of units. He was able to showcase a lot of flexibility as the matches went on, with the pre-bans and the bans kind of changing, taking out some of Chene's drafts as well. Elmo has shown himself to be a really solid player today, and I hope to see more of him next year.
Absolutely, and hopefully Elmo will be back with aplomb next year. This experience competing at this level absolutely helping him moving forward as well. You can see there, Chene is our first qualified Europe Cup player of the day. He joins the other 4 from last weekend to make up the famous 5. But there are still 3 places to play for. We head into our next matchup, our next best of 5. It's going to be an exciting one. Livert versus GutsTheBERSERK. This is a match that we've all been talking about. We're excited for this because both players impressing over the last couple of weekends here. Not necessarily kind of veteran players, almost new players to a degree, but that was kind of what adds a lot of spice to this matchup here. Killer, these are 2 great players, Livert versus Guts. Who are you excited to see compete and why?
I'm excited to actually see both these players because these 2 players were the most talked about last week when they fought each other, and the rematch is happening today. I'm actually excited to see how they go with the best of 5 against each other because this one is going to be a good one and a long one. Hold tight.
Yeah, absolutely. I think you're right. There was a rematch with last game. There is now a revenge match this next game as well. A great opportunity for players to go head-to-head again, maybe change things up. What does Livert do, Bowles, that you like so much as well?
I loved that Rakan from the first match. He brought it out last weekend. It didn't do quite so well. This time round, he brought it out once again, and it was an absolute superstar. But Guts will have seen what happened, and I'm sure Guts will have prepared a little bit more specifically for Livert's draft. I think Livert is going to find it a little more difficult against Guts because Guts has such a flexible draft. And he's going to end up probably stealing a lot of Livert's units as well, like he did in the previous weekend.
Yeah, I mean, preparation is such a big part of this, is it not, Killer? You know, if you're prepared well, you can kind of, I think you can kind of take on anything, really. You kind of feel confident going into this, which obviously confidence is huge as well.
Yes, confidence is huge. Look at GutsTheBERSERK with these arms crossed, looking very confident. And a very unique draft right there with that bearing, that Icarus. Interesting. I'm very excited to see these two players go head to head. Adam, I know he's one of your favorite in-game players' name, GutsTheBERSERK. You love that name, don't you?
I want it tattooed on my body somewhere. I love it. I think it's perfect. But you know what? They're both great players. Let's find out exactly how they both got to this position, going head-to-head once again, ahead of trying to get one of those places in the Europe Cup. Nice little recap there of what happened last week when Livert and GutsTheBERSERK went head-to-head, toe-to-toe. And Livert there, interestingly, had the lead at 1-0, but Guts came back and fought back to 2-1 to get him through to the next round. So it'll be interesting to go into this next one because both players capable of comebacks, of winning when they need to. I think this could be a 3-2 jobby. Let us know in the chit-chats who you think is going to take this one. It's going to be mighty, mighty close indeed. Obviously, a pivotal part of all of this is the pick and ban phase. That is what we dive into right now. And we're going to go and see what happens in set one in this make or break to get into the Europe Cup. Over to Baus, over to Killer. Let's do it.
Here we go, round 2, match 2, set 1, best of 5, GutsTheBERSERK versus Livert. Leona pre-ban was in very quickly, Changpang pre-ban was in very quickly from Livert's side. First pick for GutsTheBERSERK. What will he draft up? Brings out that Triana. First pick locked in from GutsTheBERSERK.
Wow, is this 4-star Special League? That is a first pick we see a lot in Special League, but not in normal R tier. But at the same time, GutsTheBERSERK taking away one of Livert's favored units. And those pre-bans, no real surprises there, to be honest.
There we go, Livert responding with the Sierra and Annabelle for his second unit, and it's locked in.
Well, that is a big surprise. Livert taking the Sierra instead of the Vanessa, actually stealing one of Guts' units instead of the other way around. This is a fascinating matchup so far.
Here we go, guys. Carly comes out to play once again. and Diana locked in as the third unit on GutsTheBERSERK side. Livert 20 seconds to respond on his third and fourth unit.
Both players actually showing that they have a lot of units in their box. Not as many as some of the other players we see on the ladder, but at the same time, the Ciara being brought out, the Diana being brought out. Quite a couple of new units that we didn't see last week.
Livert with the Vanessa and the Rakan locked in. GutsTheBERSERK brings out Okeanos for the fourth unit, locks it in 20 seconds for that fifth and final unit to come out any moment.
Wow, a lot of sustain from both sides. Bring out the Lulu. Lulu is probably looking very scary. We know the Livert likes his Juno. He might want to bring out the Juno right now. At the same time, I'm really curious to see which way this one goes. The Ciara and Vanessa kind of synergy, not so good as well. I don't know if that's going to be an issue for Livert.
There we go. That is correct, boss. GutsTheBERSERK locking in Lulu for that fifth unit. Lulu and friends locked in. Livert 1 second to the side on his final unit. Bolvar comes out to play on Livert's side. This is, I think, the first time we've seen Bolvar come out to play.
Yeah, I think this is almost the first time we've seen Bolvar, but this is definitely not the first time we've seen Livert. I think the Bolvar pick almost signals a Diana ban because Diana does really well into the Bolvar, but at the same time he does have that Rakan to deal with the Diana. But with Guts, I might want to think about banning out that Anivil, the main source of sustain.
Here we go, Banzarin, Rakan, not given a chance, ban, Triana ban, both players opting in with their leader skill any moment now. Livert, will he go with that speeder lead from the Vanessa? And GutsTheBERSERK, will he go with that Okeanos accuracy lead? Yes, correct, locked in from both players. Here we go, set 1, best of 5, Livert versus GutsTheBERSERK, a revenge match from last weekend. Who will take that first turn? Who will take that first point? Who is gonna win this bracket? Okeanos taking that first turn. Skill 2 and 3 available. Goes with the skill 2 on Ciara. Resistance huge. Annabelle from Livert's side about to take a turn. What can she do? Will all over GutsTheBERSERK's side except that Okeanos.
That was really unfortunate for GutsTheBERSERK. Okeanos missing that strip, something that a lot of players who own Okeanos and use him are very frustrated to see and probably very familiar with. And if Livert manages to take out this Kali quickly with the Vanessa, then GutsTheBERSERK is going to be in a tough position.
He almost did take out that Kali with a bomb from Ciara, failing to take her out, but does manage to stun her. Vanessa from Livert's side about to take a turn. Skill 2 with the defense break is available. Where is he gonna put it? He puts it into Kali. Defense break is there. Vanessa skill 1 into Kali, manages not to kill her.
That was an important proc for Livert, but not enough to take out the Kali. The Kali clearly quite a tanky unit with Diana shield protecting the Kali. At the same time, this Bolvar, he has 5 stacks up. If he's going to use those 5 stacks, that's going to be quite important. But you might want to save it until one of the units on Guts' side is only at 50%.
There we go, GutsTheBERSERK with all those buffs up on his side. That Diana, that Kali looking very healthy. Bolvar about to take a turn. Skill 1 strips. Skill 3 takes 50% HP. Takes that away from Okeanos. Okeanos down to half HP, but Kali takes out the Ciara with that ignore defense. Vanessa brings it back with the attack buff.
Well, he does choose to respect that, and he actually, interestingly, taking out the Ciara so that she gets revived rather than taking out the Vanessa with the Kali skill 2. He could have taken out the Vanessa instead. Or maybe the Kali only has 85 crit rate, so you wanted to go for the safe kill.
Here we go, Ciara not looking too healthy with that dot above her. Bolvar is about to take a turn. Doesn't have many stacks. Skill 1 available, skill 3 available. Goes for that little bit of heal to sustain that Ciara from there. Here we go, Diana takes a turn, doesn't matter. She goes into Ciara. Ciara taken out of the match. Vanessa's passive proc earlier on. Diana skill 1 into Annabelle, stuns her. Huge stun right there.
That was a very important stun from Diana. Annabelle being a big source of sustain for Livert. The game is not quite over, definitely in Guts' favor right now, but we know what Annabelle can do. She can proc on skill 1, she has a really strong skill 2 and skill 3. So it's not over until it's over, but it's looking very much in Guts' favor now.
Here we go, GutsTheBERSERK. Lulu putting up 2-turn immunity on his team, looking healthy. Volva, skill 1 into Kali, steals that immunity away from her. Diana puts some damage into Annabelle. Annabelle not looking too healthy. Okeanos follows after Diana, stuns that Annabelle. Here we go, Diana, skill 1 available. Does he manage to take out Annabelle? Takes her out. That's huge right there. Kali, skill 1 into Vanessa.
Do you know what? The Bulwark pick was an interesting pick with all of the buffs on the field from GutsTheBERSERK, but at the same time, he's not really offered enough because the Diana is just done so much, and then if Guts was able to take out that Diana quickly enough, or rather Livert, then he had that Annabelle that could have done quite well against the remaining units. It has not been the case, and in the end, the Bulwark, interesting draft, but just not quite enough to do anything impactful.
Yes, that Bulwark not able to deliver much excitement besides being interesting. Here we go, Vanessa, skill 1 into Diana. Looks like very decided for GutsTheBERSERK for this first set. Looking very healthy with all those buffs on his side. Lulu healing up, looking full HP bar everywhere. Okeanos taking out that Vanessa. Bulwark versus the world. What will he do?
Indeed, Bulwark versus the world. And I wonder if in the ban phase, choosing to ban out that Triana instead of the Lulu might have been costed him a little bit. If he banned the Lulu, then Guts would not have as much sustain, and Livert's slow chip damage from stuff like the Sarara and the Vanessa and the Annabelle might have been a little bit more effective. But that Lulu's heals is just so strong, and he could not get through.
There we go, Diana taking out that Bulwark. 1-0, GutsTheBERSERK takes out that first set, but it is a best out of 5, still anyone's game. It is a rematch from last weekend. Don't rule out any player just yet. It's very exciting to come ahead.
Yeah, it is. GutsTheBERSERK there as well at one point in the match with all 4 units all buffed up to the max. You felt like there was no real way back into the competition for Livert. It just wasn't seeming to happen, but we thought, I mean, this is what we wanted for this kind of like dynamic kind of like matchup here. We wanted it to go back and forth. We wanted each player to respond back. You know, that's what we got really, up to a point where Guts took the advantage, but it just goes to show, Baus, that every single one of these sets could go either way. Both players trying things out, changing things up all the time.
Indeed, there was some really interesting picks in that match. Both players going into each other's boxes, stealing the Triana and the Ciara early on. But at the same time, in the end, that Diana and the Lulu, all that sustain from Lulu for GutsTheBERSERK side, Livert just could not get through, and that was the problem in the end. He'll probably want to think about either bringing more damage or banning out that Lulu in the next match.
Yeah, let's see if he can do it in set 2. Here we go. Let's get right into it.
Here we go, round 2, match 2, set 2, GutsTheBERSERK 1-0 over Livert. Pre-ban 60 seconds to decide the mind games and what they'll pre-ban between each other's boxes, from each other's boxes. Kali gets the pre-ban, Triana gets the pre-ban. Interesting pre-bans right there. 5 seconds to decide how they'll draft up against each other.
Interesting but not surprising. Those are 2 pre-bans of units that both players really like to use. And the Kali, without that, I wonder if GutsTheBERSERK will change up his draft significantly.
Livert pulls out that Annabelle for his first pick, locks her in very quickly. GutsTheBERSERK responds with the Sierra and Lulu and friends locked in for the first and second slot. And that's locked in. Livert, time to respond with his second and third unit. What is it going to be against GutsTheBERSERK?
Wow, Livert has to deal with this Lulu once again. This Lulu, I don't know if he's going to just ban it out or if he's going to play a little bit more flexibly. He does have that Vanessa. He also has the Rakan. I would like to see the Rakan again, but Lulu sustain might be too much for Rakan.
Livert drafts up Vanessa, Leona, locks them in. Slot 2, slot 3, locked in from Livert's side. GutsTheBERSERK, something maybe he was expecting from Livert. How will he draft up and respond to this drafting?
Indeed, I'm sure it was something he was expecting. Maybe he wanted to pick up a Diana, something that goes through that Leona shield. The Ciara is already there, which does well against Leona, but he's going to need multiple Leona counters if he isn't to ban out the Leona.
Quickly, it takes out that Okeanos, brings out that Changpunk, brings out that Icarus, locks them in for slot 3 and slot 4 on GutsTheBERSERK side. 20 seconds for Livert to respond to that drafting.
We've seen that Icarus last weekend from GutsTheBERSERK, and we know it's an incredibly tanky and incredibly well-runed Icarus, and it does counter the Leona to some extent. Livert is going to be looking at that Leona and is going to be looking to think of something to deal with the Leona.
Livert with the Rakan and the Diana locked in for his 2 final units. GutsTheBERSERK has a few moments to decide on his final unit, brings out a Rika, locks in the Rika, 30 seconds to decide the bans from each player.
I think that Rika pick strongly signals an Animal ban from GutsTheBERSERK. He does have enough soft counters to the Leona on the field. If it were Livert, I don't know if he'll want to ban out the Lulu or the Chongpong or the Rika. In fact, all of the units on Guts' side are looking a little bit scary, so he has a lot to choose from.
Maybe Livert will ban out everything from GutsTheBERSERK's side. Here we go. But he only bans out one unit, which is Lulu and friends. GutsTheBERSERK responds with the Rakan, ban both players, opting in with the speed lead. Livert with the Vanessa 33, GutsTheBERSERK with the Sierra 33. Locked in. Who will take that first turn? Here we go. Set number 2, 1-0, GutsTheBERSERK 1, Livert 0. Match is underway. Here we go, boys.
We are about to go underway. That Sierra got a nice speed up.
There we go. Changpeng takes first turn, strips off that Vanessa. Diana cuts in with that passive on Livert's side. Risky transforms right there. Who's he going to put that damage into? Will it go into Sierra? Will it go into Changpeng or Ikara or even Arika? We don't know. Here you go. Diana goes into Sierra, strips that wheel, puts in a dot, gets additional turn, procs back.
Actually, on this occasion, it was not that risky because Livert looked at the attack bars from GutsTheBERSERK side. There wasn't a unit that was going to cut the Diana on this occasion, so it was safe for him to do so.
Interesting. Here we go. Leona about to take a turn into Sierra, provokes Sierra. Counter attack is up on Leona. Annabelle lands a 3-turn defense break, lands the slow on the Rika and the Icarus could be crucial. Nothing to cleanse them. Here we go.
Livert is looking extremely dominant in this match right now, and also you realize that Annabelle has not been banned out by Guts. Guts was hoping that Livert will ban out his Rika. Livert did not ban out the Rika. He kept it in, banned out the Lulu. The Annabelle was there to cleanse whatever Rika does, and therefore this is looking very much in Livert's favor.
Here we go. Diana dows. Vanessa's passive kicks in, brings Diana back up with attack buff. Leona, skill 1 available, defense break on GutsTheBERSERK's side, on that Rika, on that Icarus. Where will he land? That skill 1 goes into Rika, does some serious damage. Annabelle follows up, takes that Rika, additional turn, 4 units available on Livert's side. GutsTheBERSERK 2 units.
This has been a really dominant performance from Livert to bring the match potentially level. The Leona doing a lot of damage. That is, of course, a very well-runed Leona, as are all of Livert's units. But all of Guts' units are well-runed as well. I think in the end, the difference in this match was the fact that that Annabelle was not banned out by Guts, and the Rika just couldn't really do that much.
There we go. Leona stunning that Changpeng with that counter attack that was stripped off from Changpeng's skill 2. Annabelle healing up Livert's side. Vanessa taking that Changpeng with skill 1. Passive kicks in and defense break on Icarus. Leona doing some serious damage on the Icarus. She's out of this match any moment now. Livert ties it up 1-0, best out of 5. GG to both players. Very interesting to watch, very exciting to watch. Hold on to your seats because these two players are not done yet for today because it is the best out of 5.
Yeah, we knew this was going to be very, very tight indeed, and that's exactly what it is. The Annabelle not being banned out, Baus, massive impact on the game. Do you think that was the biggest thing to really throw a spanner in the works for Guts there?
I think so, but at the same time, there was the Changpeng which did reset the Annabelle, but we know that Annabelle is really well-runed and fast. It can take a lot of turns, it can get extra turns from both violent procs and sleeps from skill 1, so it did manage to get that girl's prayer back up quite soon after Rika used her skill 3. And at the same time, overall, Livert just had so much damage and quite quickly took out that Sierra actually. So I think it was a combination of multiple things in that match.
Yeah, I mean, at this point in the competition, these guys have played each other last weekend and this weekend as well. They're kind of still figuring each other out, but have got a lot of, a lot of knowledge of how the other one plays as well. So it'll be interesting to see what happens. There's 3 sets up for grabs here. The player, the summoner, who gets the 2 first, will be going through to the Europe Cup. Let's find out what happens next. It's set 3. Over to you, chaps.
Here we go, set 3, 1-0, both sides, Livert and GutsTheBERSERK, best out of 5. Pick ban phase is in 45 seconds, both players to decide what they'll pre-ban. Leona and Sierra pre-banned. Livert burns that Sierra. GutsTheBERSERK burns that Leona, seeing what she did in that last match. Few seconds to decide on their drafting.
That Leona was so strong in the previous match. I'm no surprise at all that it's been pre-banned. I wonder if GutsTheBERSERK is going to take an early Lulu this time. Or I wonder Livert has actually ruined up his Lulu. He doesn't seem to like the Lulu that much.
Here we go, GutsTheBERSERK pulls out that Okeanos, takes it back out, pulls out that Triana, locks her in for first slot. Livert goes with the Vanessa and the Annabelle. GutsTheBERSERK taking out Carly for slot 2 and Diana for slot 3, locks them in. Livert 20 seconds to respond with slot 3 and 4. What is it going to be against GutsTheBERSERK?
Well, this draft from GutsTheBERSERK is looking very different from last time because he has access to the Kali, which is not pre-banned this time round, and also the Diana, which Livert stole from GutsTheBERSERK in the previous match. So this match is going to be very different, and I'm fully expecting another Rakan pick from Livert unless GutsTheBERSERK brings out some water units.
There we go, Livert locks in that Okeanos, and something we didn't see last weekend, brings out that Akroma for the 4th unit, locks in that LD Nat 5, Akroma locked in. GutsTheBERSERK responds with the Water Monkey King, 10 seconds to decide on his 5th unit, brings out that Swookie on his 5th unit and locks it in. Does he lock it in? 5 seconds. Ooh, takes that Water Monkey King out, switches it around with the Praha, locks in that Praha.
I actually really like the Suiki pick, the Water Onimusha there. He does not crit, and therefore Akroma's passive, which reduces the chance of the opponent critting, does not kick in for Suiki, and also Suiki is so tanky and really strong in long matches. Livert is going to need to think about something. I don't think you want to pick the Rakan because there's just too many water units on GutsTheBERSERK side.
Here we go, Livert with his 5th unit, 5th slot, brings out Ethna, locks in Ethna, 20 seconds, both players to decide on the bans. What are the bans?
There's a couple of possible bans. I think on Guts' side, again, I'd want to ban out the Annabelle, the main source of sustain for Livert, but then maybe Livert has too much control. If you were Livert, you might want to ban out the Praha or the Suiki. The Suiki is quite scary.
Livert's Ethna gets banned out by GutsTheBERSERK. Livert bans out that Triana from GutsTheBERSERK's side. Both players few seconds to decide their leader skills for going into this next match, which is tied at 1-1 best out of 5. Praha lead with the resistance on GutsTheBERSERK's side. Livert goes with the Vanessa 33 speed lead. Very interesting. Here we go. For set 3, 1-0 GutsTheBERSERK versus Livert, best out of 5. Match is underway. Who will take that first turn? Who will take that 3rd point? Very excited to see. Here we go, Okeanos taking that first turn, skill 2, skill 3 available. What will he choose to do? Does he go for the reset? Does he go for a Rain Stone? Goes for the reset on Kali, lands it, succeeds, gets an additional turn.
Wow.
Rain Stones is available.
Incredible killer. This is so different from what we saw from GutsTheBERSERK's Okeanos. This Okeanos from Livert is just so much more well behaved.
There we go, Diana skill 1 into Okeanos, does not stun him. Annabelle on Livert's side, takes a turn, 3-turn defense break, slows all over GutsTheBERSERK's side except that Swookie. Here we go, Vanessa on Livert's side, about to take a turn. Where will he put his damage? Puts it into Kali. Kali not looking very healthy. Akroma takes her out with skill 1, procs her passive, skill 2 into Praha, does not land the Oblivion.
So actually, I think that Triana ban was pretty good because then GutsTheBERSERK, he lacks any cleanse or immunity to deal with all the debuffs from Annabelle and Okeanos. So in fact, this match is really favoring Livert right now because Guts just cannot do anything about all of these debuffs from both the Water Occult Girl and the Firesty Emperor.
We just saw Okeanos resetting that water unit, Praha. Praha cannot heal at the moment. Akroma about to take a turn. Skill 1 or skill 2 into Diana or into Praha. Where does he go? He goes into Praha with the skill 2, takes her out. Diana transformed from GutsTheBERSERK side. Spooky Diana versus 4 units on Livert's side. Puts the damage onto Annabelle. Transforms back into Pony. Skill 1 into additional time. Diana, here we go.
Well, let's not just discount GutsTheBERSERK just yet. He has these 2 RNG units in Suiki, in Diana, especially the Suiki. Livert is going to need to take out this Suiki because the Suiki could actually solo the whole of Livert's team.
Here we go. Whoosh whoosh does not take out that Annabelle from that Suiki. Diana takes her with that skill 1. after she was brought back from Vanessa's passive. Vanessa's passive is on cooldown. Okeanos takes a turn, goes for the stun, lands it on the Diana. SWC still on the field, looking healthy. Vanessa, some damage into Diana. A Chroma damage into Diana, additional turn.
Do you know what, Killer?
Goes into Diana again.
Yeah, I mean, this Diana's almost down, but this SWC, I don't know how Livert is going to take him down. He has 2 fire units, which won't do much damage, and then he has the Chroma, which also doesn't do the best amount of damage, whereas the SWC doesn't crit anyway, so the Chroma doesn't really help out his team. I think this SWC is going to actually almost 1v4, I mean, technically 2v4, but really 1v4 because the Diana hasn't done that much.
Resistance on that. SWC does not get a defense break from that Vanessa's passive. SWC returns a defense break to Vanessa. Vanessa has that defense break, fails to do any damage to SWC. Okeanos, additional turn, Rainer Stearns, skill 2 available. What does he go? Goes with the Rainer Stearns, resistance, does not stun him. Whoosh, whoosh, takes out Vanessa, additional turn.
Oh my goodness.
Takes out Okeanos, SWC taking that match.
Wow.
GutsTheBERSERK 2. Amazing.
Wow, wow, wow. But ultimately a 1v4 there. Unbelievable. How goated was that at the end? I can't believe it. We all thought Livert had that in the bag there, but Guts comes back and just utilizes the unit to his absolute best. And there we have a 2-1 in favor of Guts going into round 5. This is massive, Baus.
Absolutely, the SWC is a unit that is so underrated and really strong because you can be built on full damage, but as the match progresses, he gets more and more attack, he gets more and more stacks. He's really tanky throughout, but then he really does a lot of damage in the later game, and that's exactly what we saw today. Livert could not take out that SWC in time. Once this Anavel was gone, there was just very little Livert could do. His source of sustain was gone, and then the SWC just did a huge amount of work for GutsTheBERSERK.
Honestly, absolutely brilliant to watch. And we're going into a set 5 here we're all highly anticipating. Could go to 2-2, bringing us a game, well, game 5 ultimately. This is game 4. That was game 4. We're going into basically the next matchup. This is game 4 now. Whoever, I'm getting so ahead of myself here, lads. I'm getting very, very excited, as you can tell here. Whatever happens in this matchup here, it could completely change what happens. Guts could go all the way to the Europe Cup right now. Let's go picking bands. Let's find out what happens. Can Livert get back in? Let's find out.
Told you to hold on to your Cs. Hold on to your Cs. This match is not over yet. GutsTheBERSERK match point. Livert looking to tie it up with a 2-2. Anyone's game still at this point. Pre-bans are in. Kali gets pre-banned. Anavel gets pre-banned. These monsters have done serious damage in the past between these two players. Livert takes first turn, first peek. Triana locks her in.
The Anavel finally get pre-banned by GutsTheBERSERK. He doesn't want to deal with the Anavel, but Anavel has done a lot of work for Livert.
That 3-turn defense break was very crucial. GutsTheBERSERK goes with the double Oracle for his first 2 slots. Sierra locked in with the speed lead, Praha locked in with the resistance lead, Livert responds with a Vanessa speed lead and a Merlong HP lead for this match. Here we go, it's locked in.
That's actually a bit of a mix-up from Livert once again, showing that he does have a couple of units to play around with. Merlong, an interesting synergy. I guess he has decent synergy with Vanessa and Triana, but having that Vanessa-Triana combo at Livert's disposal is going to be really difficult for Guts to get through.
GutsTheBERSERK brings out that Changpang and the Eladriel. We saw this Eladriel last weekend. He's out to play again this weekend. It's locked in for that 4th slot on GutsTheBERSERK's side. Livert 10 seconds to draft up his 2 final units. What is it going to be? An Ethna, a Diana, 2 win units locked in on Livert's side. I'm
really surprised that Livert didn't bring out that Okeanos. It was available and it will be a strong counter to both the Changpong and the Eladriel and all those wind units on Guts' side of the field. But nevertheless, his picks are very solid as well.
GutsTheBERSERK flashes that Rika for a second, takes it back out, brings out that Antares. Is he going to lock in the Antares? He hasn't decided yet. Decides, locks in the Antares. Bans are about to come in from both players. Triana gets the ban, Antares gets the ban. GutsTheBERSERK's Antares is banned out. Leader skills options are available any moment now. Both players will opt in with the leader skill.
Indeed, he has the 50% wind HP leader skill, GutsTheBERSERK. I wonder if he'll pick that one up for more tankiness or if he'll just go for the speed lead. But at the same time, those bans are quite no-brainers. The Antares had to be banned out to let the Diana out to play, and the Triana the main source of sustain for Livert.
2-1-0, times up. Vanessa leader skill Eladriel, HP wins leader skill like boss said, locked in, match point for GutsTheBERSERK 2-1, Livert looking for that tiebreaker, best out of 5, winner out of this bracket, moves into Europe Cup. It is very crucial. Who will take this point right now, right this moment? Match is underway. Here we go, Ethna taking that first turn, skill 3, skill 2 available. What will he choose to go with? Goes with skill 3, stuns that Changpang.
I feel like this match would be so different if Livert decided to bring out the Okeanos, because he's going to have to deal with Eladriel's revive now because he doesn't have a skill reset on his side of the team, and he doesn't have any sustain either, so GutsTheBERSERK has a lot of heavy sustain with Praha and Eladriel.
Here we go, Diana putting in some damage into Eladriel. Changpang takes a turn, comes out of stun, but does not make any moves. Vanessa on Livert's side goes for the defense break on Eladriel, misses the defense break. Merlong has Reckless Assault, has Dragon's Dance. What will he do? Where will he put his damage? Reckless Assault into Eladriel, takes him out. Huge play by Livert there. Here we go, Diana transforms back into Pony.
I think that was a really smart play from Livert. Now he's taking out the Eladriel, the huge source of sustain on GutsTheBERSERK's side. Yes, the Molong is low on HP, but that doesn't matter because now he doesn't need to be scared about the Eladriel revive.
Indeed, exactly. Eladriel out of the match. Ethna, skill 1 available to put into any of those defense break units on GutsTheBERSERK side. Puts it into Changpang. Vanessa taking out Changpang with skill 1, landing her passive, skill 2 into Sierra. Merlong stunning Praha and Sierra with that Dragon's Dance.
I think this is pretty much it. Livert looking in a really commanding position. Actually, this Ethna doing really well, keeping those defense breaks on all of GutsTheBERSERK's units so that his other units could do extra damage. And now it looks like Livert is actually going to bring this match to a tiebreaker.
Looks like a tiebreaker will be in place indeed. Sierra puts the bomb on Vanessa, doesn't do too much damage. Additional proc by Diana, skill 1 into Sierra. Sierra not looking too healthy. Merlong into Sierra, doesn't take her out. Ethna takes her out. Praha on her own, even if she heals, she's on her own, asleep on the field.
Yeah, Praha could take a nap if she wants to, but I don't think she'll get the chance because she's about to be taken out any moment now.
Here we go, Praha goes for a nap. Livert tying it up, 2-all. Told you to hold on to your seeds, best out of 5, don't rule out any of these players. GutsTheBERSERK 2, Livert 2, very exciting to watch both these players. One of our favorite matches for everyone watching and ourselves here in the studio.
You called it, fellas. You said this one could have the possibility of going all the way to a 3-2, and that is exactly what is going to happen here. I mean, Bows, Livert comes back, you know, whatever Guts tends to throw at him, he finds a way to counteract it and brings himself back into the mix. We're going to a best of 5 here. Exciting times. We hope we'd see this in this part of the game because whoever wins this next set goes through to the Europe Cup and potentially wins $10,000. So much on the line here.
So much on the line, there could not be more on the line. These are two of my favorite players in the EU Cup so far, and it's great to see them just going back and forth, taking their way to a tiebreaker. They're really strong, and I really like Livert's play just now, taking out the Eladriel early on so that he didn't have to be scared of the revive and just wrapping up the match.
Indeed. Right, in the chat right now, get the letter G or the letter L for Guts or for Livert. Let us know who you think is going to take this because it all comes down to this final set. Pick and bans for the final time in this matchup. Let's do it.
Set 5, match point for both players. The decider. Leona gets the pre-ban. Triana gets the pre-ban. GutsTheBERSERK, 5 seconds to decide how will he draft up against Livert. Livert taking that time to do the same thing. GutsTheBERSERK taking that first turn pick. What will he lock in into slot 1, taking his time? It's very crucial here. Here we go.
We remember that GutsTheBERSERK did a first pick Triana fairly recently. These two players competing for first pick Triana. So Livert doesn't want him to take that.
Here we go. GutsTheBERSERK opts in with that Sierra speedily on his slot 1. Livert responds with the Vanessa, with the Annabelle, locks him in. GutsTheBERSERK bringing out that Lulu and friends to play, bringing out that Diana, locks it in. Slot 2 and 3 are locked in.
Well, he doesn't have to deal with the Triana, but I don't think Livert will be too happy to see that Lulu. Before he really struggled to get through the Lulu's sustain, he's going to have to bring out some really heavy damage. That Diana also, maybe he can have an Antares out if he has one ruined up.
Livert bringing out an Ethna and a Rakan for that 3rd and 4th slot and locks him in. GutsTheBERSERK bringing out that Okeanos for his 4th slot. Puts it out. One more unit to decide against Livert. What is it going to be? Water Monkey King comes out. Very, very interesting. Very exciting.
That is an interesting choice indeed. Livert is lacking in immunity. He does have the cleanse from Annabelle, but perhaps GutsTheBERSERK, the Okeanos, and the Shiho, the Water Monkey King, is going to be enough control for GutsTheBERSERK. We're actually seeing a little bit more of a CC style from GutsTheBERSERK compared to his usual drafts here.
Semi-CC style from GutsTheBERSERK side. Locked in like Boss said. Livert, 1 second to decide on his final unit. Brings out a Juno. Locks in a Juno. Few seconds, both players to decide their bans. Very crucial right here, right now. Hope they take the time to consider their bans.
Well, Livert is very heavy on fire. He could think about banning out the Shiho, or if he's really scared of the Lulu sustain, the Lulu will be a really strong, solid ban as well.
There we go, Livert's Rakan getting burned by GutsTheBERSERK. Livert taking out that Lulu and friends with the ban. He's like, no way, get out of here. I don't want to deal with you. In this match, this is the decider. Match form, both players. Leader skills are coming in. Accuracy, Okeanos on GutsTheBERSERK side. Vanessa speed lead on Livert's side. Here we go, guys. Cheat in the chat. Who you want to see win? Match point for GutsTheBERSERK. Livert is underway right now. The decider for these two players.
Yeah, indeed. GutsTheBERSERK has seen what that Rakan has done so far. He doesn't want to deal with it. Let's see what happens.
There we go, Ethna taking that first turn. Skill 2, skill 3 available for her. Will she go for the strip or a defense break on that single unit with no wheels? Okeanos goes for the strip on the Water Monkey King. Strips it, stuns it. Okeanos cuts after. Goes into Annabelle, resets Annabelle. Juno cuts in from Livert's side, about to take a turn.
There we are seeing the benefit of the accuracy lead. That was a real surprise that GutsTheBERSERK went with accuracy lead instead of the Ciara speed lead. It really worked out for him because this time the Okeanos actually managed to reset the Annabelle, which he did not do in an earlier match.
There we go, Diana transforming on that first turn, putting some serious damage into Ethna. Annabelle takes 3 turns after sleeping that Water Monkey King from skill 1. Vanessa cuts in. Where will he land? That defense break. Will it be the pony? Goes for the Annabelle. Does not land it. That was a gamble probably. I'm not too sure, boss. Tell us about it.
I don't know if I would have gone for the Shiho. I think he was gambling on a crit. But at the same time, I think Livert was in quite a strong position anyway. That Diana transform was quite a brave choice from GutsTheBERSERK on turn 1. And the Vanessa could have taken advantage of that to do some serious damage into the Diana. Because there is no sustain on GutsTheBERSERK side.
There we go. Annabelle, 3-turn defense break landed on 3 of the units. Slow has landed. Diana transforms. Skill 2 is available into Ethna. Takes out that Ethna. Vanessa's passive is triggered. Ethna's back in the field with the attack buff. Cuts that pony. Diana kills the Water Monkey King. Hits the passive into Ciara.
Well, do you know what? This time the gamble on Vanessa has paid off. And to be fair, GutsTheBERSERK does have Vanessa, has Juno that will be able to take out the Diana later on in the game. Perhaps the Shiho is actually the main source of damage and a little bit more scary than the Diana. So, I mean, I think it was actually not a bad gamble to make earlier on.
Guys, it's still anyone's game right here. Diana transform. Puts some damage onto the Annabelle, gets an additional turn. That Ciara stunned earlier on by Juno. Diana transforms, puts her damage into Annabelle, takes that Annabelle. This is very, very crucial for GutsTheBERSERK doing some serious stuff right here. Stunning that Vanessa, the fire unit.
Well, now we are seeing what happens when you don't kill Diana whilst you still can. But at the same time, Diana is not going to be able to transform anymore. There are these 2 fire units, especially the Juno, which does a lot of damage with her multi-kit artifacts.
Hey, Diana's breaking all the rules right there. Transforms and hits this fire unit.
Oh my goodness.
Gets an additional pro.
Wow.
And into Vanessa. Here we go. Additional turn from Vanessa.
What am I seeing here, killer? Diana doesn't care about attribute advantage. Diana, a solo Diana, I mean, no.
Wow, Livert taking it out with that nail biter fight. Livert 3-2, moving on to that Europe Cup. GG for Livert, GG for GutsTheBERSERK. Amazing match, one of my favorites here today and last weekend.
Absolutely brilliant, and I can imagine Livert right now jumping around his living room going absolutely bonkers. The revenge is there, boys. It happens Livert goes through to the Europe Cup. Absolutely amazing. It was kind of like that final set felt a bit like, you know, when you're a young kid, you're kind of swapping 1-for-1 with candies with your buddies. But in this case, it was 1-for-1 with units. It was back and forth all the way, Baus. It was exhilarating. We got a 3-2, the one that we always wanted, and Livert, a worthy winner going through to the Europe Cup.
Indeed, I really like Livert's playstyle. It's very solid, and he has his units, he has those flex picks that are really surprising because other players don't like to pick them. Usually he gets to use them most of the time. Guts tried to steal some of Livert's units and did take 2 sets away from him, but nevertheless, Livert wrapped it up. And massive respect for Livert for securing his place in the EU Cup. Our first ever newcomer, I believe, that's qualified for the EU Cup so far.
Amazing. Yeah, great point to make there. As you can see there, guys, on the screen right now in the bracket, Chene and now Livert have their seats in the Europe Cup. There are still 2 spaces left, though. 4 players remain, 2 spaces available. It's all still to play for. 2 best-of-5s coming your way, which is very, very exciting indeed. But massive shout out to GutsTheBERSERK as well, who's been a brilliant competitor across last weekend and this weekend as well. Thank you for being here, and we'll see lots more of you in the future, I'm sure, buddy. So congrats. Let's take a look at our next matchup. It's coming thick and fast at you. Next up, we have PinkRoid versus SaPyn. We have been talking about this one. This is going to be brilliant. We saw PinkRoid in action earlier on today with a clean sweep. Now it's up against SaPyn. Baus, 2 players here. One we know lots about, SaPyn, a rising star, as we've talked about a lot as well. What can you tell me first and foremost about PinkRoid? What makes him so special?
Well, PinkRoid we know even more about. He brought out that Xerath in the most recent match. He does like to bring a really aggressive but also luck sack based playstyle, but it just works out so well for him because of the quality of his runes, the quality of his artifacts, and just the quality of his plays. He's a very smooth drafter and player.
Yeah, we can see as well his win rate there is extraordinarily high compared to other players, you know, in the 72 to 74 percentile. That's really impressive anyway, but, you know, against SaPyn, who is a somewhat newer player, do you think that gives him a bit of an edge here as well, Killer?
It might give him a little bit of edge because he's got that surprise opponent against PinkRoid, because PinkRoid's always up in that ladder, you know, top 5, top 10, so his draft is a little bit more well-known to SaPyn, but maybe SaPyn's draft is not well-known to PinkRoid, so it's still anyone's game. Here we go, SaPyn's drafting for season 16 and 17, you know, with those CC kind of units, Ganymede, Okeanos, Fire, M-Bison, Changpunk, and Ryu.
Yeah, last weekend we actually saw that SaPyn won one of his matchups. He sadly lost out in the next round, and that's why he already kind of got to this stage in the competition to a best-of-5 here. So ultimately, whoever wins this best-of-5 will get that next seat in the Europe Cup happening later this year. But before we get ahead of ourselves to get into the match itself, let's actually find out a bit more about how the players got to be here, how PinkRoid and SaPyn made it to this position, and how they're going head-to-head for a place in the Europe Cup. This is it, our penultimate matchup of the day. We have PinkRoid versus AapjeRed. We saw there as well AapjeRed defeating Yan37, who sadly went out of the competition earlier on this afternoon. And AapjeRed is there ready and waiting for PinkRoid to arrive. So these guys can go toe-to-toe, head-to-head. It's going to be absolutely massive. Again, as always, let us know in the chat who you think is going to be the victor, who's going to go through to the Europe Cup to join our other two already there, Livert and Chene, already qualifying earlier on today. It is time for set one in this game 3 of our losers round 2. It's going to get very, very exciting indeed. Over to you guys. It's pick and ban time.
Best out of 5, set 1, ThatAapje versus that PinkRoid. Both members having the same logo because they are from the same guild family. Pre-bans are in, and the Carnal and that TN are pre-banned very quickly. Here we go.
Indeed, Killer. This match is a match of my guildmate versus your guildmate. Both from the same guild family, so this is going to be really interesting, and it's going to be curious to see if they're going to play some, maybe flash some of their units friendly, or if it's going to be extra serious anyway.
So what you're saying, boss, is me versus you, right? Here we go. PinkRoid locks in the Okeanos first pick. ThatAapje responds with the Sierra and the Lulu and Friends for slot 1 and 2. PinkRoid responds with Changpang and a Vertihill for that third slot. First time seeing Vertihill today.
That is a really early Vertihill pick. But yes, indeed, we might as well just call them Baus and Killer instead of PinkRoid and ThatAapje if you want to. I like both drafts so far.
Here we go, AapjeRed with the Juno for the third slot. Locks her in, double Oracle on his side. 5 seconds to decide on his fourth unit. How will he respond to PinkRoid's draft? Any moment now. 1, locks in, Merlong comes out to play. PinkRoid very quick with his fingers to lock in that Water Ryu, aka more Street Fighter skin.
What is really interesting as well is that ThatAapje has decided to go for a defensive playstyle instead of the aggressive playstyle, which did so well for him last week. I'm surprised to see that because now he's allowed PinkRoid to his own aggressive playstyle. This might cost ThatAapje.
There we go, PinkRoid with the Diana for the 5th unit. AapjeRed with that Antares for the 5th unit. Hand in hand with these 2 units. The bans are going to come in. What are we going to see? Antares gets the ban. Okeanos gets the ban. Leader skills will be opted in any moment right now. PinkRoid and AapjeRed opting in with the 24 speeder lead with the Ryu and the Sierra. Best out of 5, PinkRoid versus AapjeRed. Here we go, set 1. Match is underway. Ryu taking that first turn, stripping that Lulu. Changpang follows up really swiftly, pushing that attack bar down.
Wow.
Heal into Sierra.
Boom, boom, boom. And I think the Sierra is going to get taken out.
Taking that indeed with that Diana. Diana skill 1 into Merlong. Merlong not looking too healthy. PinkRoid very swift with his draft, executing it perfectly. AapjeRed about to take a turn soon. Yes, there we go. Juno taking a turn. Skill 1 into that Pony. Pony transforms. Where will she put her damage? Is she going to take out that Merlong? Takes out that Merlong. Very, very swiftly. Interesting draft from PinkRoid. Executed perfectly.
In true PinkRoid style, PinkRoid brings a lot of damage. I think that Vertihill was a really interesting pick, but a strong pick. I don't think it's the traditional triple revenge. Probably a violent Vertihill, and that actually works out really well against Lulu because it allows your team to take so many more turns to do so much more damage, which is exactly what we're seeing on the field.
There we go. Changpang skill 3 available again. Pushes back that Juno and that Lulu and gets additional turn. There's the glancing and the defense break. Diana into Juno, taking out that fire unit. This match is over before it started. Hope no one blinked. Hope you all saw that. PinkRoid takes that first set. Best out of 5. Still anyone's game. 1-0 Pink and AapjeRed 0.
We thought that PinkRoid was going to come out the gate swinging, and that's exactly what he did. Baus, what a display from PinkRoid. Obviously, carrying on from where he left off earlier on today. What a start in this matchup against AapjeRed.
Precisely, Adam. That's my boy PinkRoid, bringing out his aggressive gameplay. I'm so surprised that AapjeRed decided to go for the tankiness instead of matching PinkRoid in aggression. I think if AapjeRed decided to kind of go toe-to-toe to PinkRoid instead, things might have been a little bit different. But AapjeRed just did not have the tankiness, did not have those units such as a Ragdoll in order to counter such aggressive AoE play that PinkRoid decided to utilize.
Indeed. And for you guys watching as well, this is a bit of a guildy matchup here because it's kind of like Baus and PinkRoid versus Killer and AapjeRed. The guildies going head to head here. This is pretty big. This is fireworks here on the desk right now. Let's head back into our pick and ban. This is set 2 here. Looking forward to see what happens here, boys. I want to feel it. I want to feel the hype, the spice coming out of the screen right now. Let's do this thing.
Here we go, set number 2, best out of 5, still anyone's game. Don't rule out ThatAapje yet. PinkRoid 1, it's still early. ThatAapje 0. Here we go, pre-bans will come in 40 seconds time. Or not. Here we go, they were very quick with those pre-bans. Changpeng gets the pre-ban, Ryu gets that pre-ban. Here we go, 5 seconds, both players taking the time to think about their drafting in this turn.
That's really interesting stuff. ThatAapje banning out the water room, perhaps signaling once again that he's going to go for a more defensive playstyle, but I really hope that is not the case.
ThatAapje with that first pick, picks Okeanos into slot 1, locks it in. PinkRoid goes with the Sierra and the Lulu onto his slot 1 and 2, locks it in. ThatAapje 20 seconds to decide how will he respond to PinkRoid's slot 1 and slot 2 drafting.
Well, that's not what we're used to be seeing from PinkRoid picking a Lulu, but nevertheless Lulu is a really solid counter to Okeanos. So this time around PinkRoid is going to be the defensive player.
Here we go, ThatAapje with the Chiwus and the strong leader skill locked in, and a stripper and Ganymede as the 3rd unit locked in. PinkRoid goes with the Juno and the Chow on the 4th slot and locks it in. This is going to be interesting, guys.
I like that Chow pick a lot, actually. That's a unit that we've not seen enough of today, perhaps the first time, but really powerful into Okeanos and the Chiwu. And that ThatAapje is going to need to bring some wind damage dealers like we're seeing already.
Here we go, ThatAapje brings a wind damage dealer and one of the best ones, Diana, comes out to play. And Savannah, another best one, wind unit, comes out to play, gets locked in. Both players 25 seconds to decide on the bans.
Well, we do see that Tianlang, the Tianlang is a very strong Diana counter, but Diana is the only unit he's really countering. He counters the Okeanos a little bit. It's not a must ban for that ThatAapje. He could think about banning the Ciara or the Chow or the Lulu instead. For PinkRoid, I wonder if he'll want to ban the Chiwu or maybe the Savannah or the Ganymede.
PinkRoid so quick with his finger to lock in that Tianlang. I missed it. Here we go. ThatAapje bans that Lulu. PinkRoid bans that Chiwu. Accuracy lead with the Ganymede on ThatAapje's side. Here we go. 1-0. Pinky 1. ThatAapje 0. Best out of 5. Set number 2 is underway. Juno taking that first turn. Stripping everyone. Landing the dots. Tianlang cuts in. Stuns everyone. Diana, additional turn. Comes out of stun. Puts up the shield.
Well, that speed lead from Ciara has really helped out PinkRoid here. His units are very well runed, and that extra speed lead just meant that PinkRoid managed to move first. Juno didn't stun anyone, but then Tianlang managed to do a lot of disruption to that ThatAapje's combo.
Here we go, Tianlang landing that defense break on Okeanos. Diana takes a turn into Sierra, failing to stun her. Chow takes a turn, takes Okeanos out. Savannah is dismounted. Ganymede, skill 2 available, skill 1 into Tianlang. Does not glance, put up glance in. Savannah out of this match. Very swift from PinkRoid's side.
Indeed, I think I was wrong to doubt how quickly PinkRoid could finish his matches. Even with the Lulu pick, his other picks were very high in damage thanks to things like artifacts that he's been farming. And that ThatAapje has just been obliterated by PinkRoid's pure speed and aggression.
Here we go, Chow, skill 1 onto that Ganymede. Pony left on her own. PinkRoid 1-0, ThatAapje 0. Chow taking out that Diana, that wind unit, 2-0. Is this gonna be a swift match with a 3-0? Or are we gonna see ThatAapje respond to PinkRoid and get a point back?
Absolute destruction, courtesy of PinkRoid there. The speed on the victory there as well in set 2 was something else, Bowser. How did it happen so quickly?
It was incredible. PinkRoid, he picked up that Ciara, which that ThatAapje chose not to take on the first turn, surprisingly, and it's enabled all of his units pretty much to move before that ThatAapje's, and he was able to disrupt the combo, the CC combo that ThatAapje was hoping to pull off on the later turns. And before we knew it, the Savannah was dismounted, Okeanos was deleted, and PinkRoid wrapped up the match.
I don't know what could be said here. I mean, ThatAapje killer. What could he do to get back into this? He has to win 3 on the bounce now. This is looking a little bit worrying.
It's doable, but he needs to come up with 2 or 3 surprises against PinkRoid. And now we're going to see that because set 3 is underway right now. Pick ban phase is in 60 seconds. Both players to decide on what they're going to pre-ban and what is it going to be. There we go. Tianglang gets the pre-ban. Cardinal, Fire, and Bison gets the pre-ban from both players. 5 seconds to decide on their drafting.
Well, to be honest, those pre-bans are no surprise to very dominant meta units, and Tianlang, which PinkRoid really likes to abuse.
PinkRoid taking only 1 second to lock in Sierra and slot 1. AapJe locking in Water Ryu, aka more into slot 1 with a speed lead of his own, and Okeanos for the second slot.
No surprise at all that PinkRoid decided to pick up the Sierra, and this Lulu that he's hovering over right now is a really strong counter to the Maul and Okeanos. ThatAapje is going to have to think of something good to counter what PinkRoid is showing on the field.
Here we go, PinkRoid with Lulu and friends locked in for slot 2, Changpeng locked in for slot 3, AapJe brings out that Ganymede for slot 3, locks it in, brings out that Juno for slot 4, locks it in, PinkRoid going with another speed lead of his own. Chiwu comes out and gets locked in for slot 4. You know Chiwu is a stripper and a speed lead. Very, I think PinkRoid's looking for that first turn.
Indeed. The Chiwu doesn't have the best synergy with Lulu, so he's going to have to bring out a really heavy damage dealer on the last pick. Or maybe just a Luxat unit like we're seeing here. But if he does pick that up, then that ThatAapje can just ban out the Sierra and then PinkRoid won't have much damage at all.
Quickly switches that Antares for Fire. Monkey King for PinkRoid's side, leading the match with 2-0. AapJe responding with that Rika for the 5th unit. And it's locked in.
Well, that is a surprise, the Fire Monkey King. It's not a bad unit at all, but at the same time, I'm not sure if it's going to be impactful enough to do anything about ThatAapje's draft. PinkRoid probably expecting a ban on the Lulu because of the Rika. I don't know if he'll want to ban the Rika in return, ban the Okeanos or the Gani or something else.
Here we go, AapJe banning that Chiwu from PinkRoid's draft. PinkRoid banning that Ryu from AapJe's draft. Accuracy with the Ganymede for AapJe, speeder lead for PinkRoid for his draft. Here we go, set number 3, match point for PinkRoid. That AapJe looking to get a point up. Here we go, Fire Monkey King takes first turn very fast. Fire Monkey King goes into Juno, does not land the defense break. Changpeng follows up, skill 2.
Wow.
Additional turn.
That is unfortunate. He got the prop, but he did not land a single strip, so the prop didn't even matter. Nevertheless, he decided to go in on the Juno for the additional damage, and the Juno survives by a sliver of health.
Additional turn from Lulu, putting up that 2-turn immunity on her team. Skill 1 onto Juno. Juno's attack bar is all the way at the bottom. Not looking too promising for her. Okeanos into Sierra. Resistance! Huge resistance from Sierra. Not getting reset by the Okeanos from AapJe.
This Fire Monkey King was so incredibly fast. We saw that he actually moved before the Changpeng, which is a unit you typically put on very fast violent moves. But that probably means that this Fire Monkey is going to do more work than you see a typical Fire Monkey doing, just because PinkRoid has such an abundance of runes at his disposal.
There we go, Okeanos getting reset by that Ganymede, going for that reset on Sierra, landing the reset. Additional turn, Rain of Stones, failing to stun anyone. Rika stunning that Sierra. Fire Monkey King takes a turn into Ganymede. Resistant does not get a defense break. Additional turn from Changpeng once again, landing a defense break on Ganymede. PinkRoid looking a little healthier than AapJe at this moment.
This match has been absolutely fascinating, but I don't think that Rika pick from ThatAapje was the right pick. She was hoping to play some mind games with PinkRoid, not banning out the Lulu, hoping the Rika got banned out. It didn't get banned out because PinkRoid really wanted to take first turn banning out that Ryu, and I think that's been a difference maker in this match.
Additional turn. PinkRoid taking it out with a clean sweep. 3-0 very swiftly. GG for PinkRoid, GG for AapJe. Both players did incredibly. You wouldn't be here if you wouldn't be in this position if you weren't a good player. AapJe showing some good plays right there.
Signed, sealed, delivered. PinkRoid, I think 3-0 plus. I don't think he lost a unit in all 3 of those sets either, if I remember correctly. So it just goes to show PinkRoid. Just we knew that it was a surprise last week, losing out, having to go through all this process, the lower brackets, but. Bouse, I mean, the strength of this player. He gets his seat in the Europe Cup. Is it deserved?
It is definitely deserved, Adam. He has shown such smooth drafting, such aggressive gameplay, the power of his runes, the power of his units. Even that Fire Monkey King, the Meiho Wang, was so fast, and for real, I'm just really incredibly impressed with PinkRoid's performances the whole of today. Really making up for things that went a little bit wrong in the previous weekend and more.
Couldn't agree more. Yeah, the speed that you mentioned as well. The speed was so pivotal as well. As you can see, guys, this is our bracket as it currently stands. We have 3 confirmed players in those Europe Cup positions: Chene, Livert, and now PinkRoid as well. They are all absolutely going to the Europe Cup, joining our 4 from last week, making up 7. But there's 1 spot that remains, and this one is going to be very exciting indeed. We've talked about these 2 players before many times. Viilipytty versus SaPyn. This is a great way to round out our EU prelim finals here. Let's talk about our players here, guys. This matchup here, Viilipytty versus SaPyn. Killer, what do you like about this this matchup here? You talked about Vili earlier on today. I mean, this could make for a great contest.
Honestly, I just want to see the reigning champ to defend his title. That's how it goes in the world of wrestling. That's how it goes in the world of SWC. Viilipytty defending his title from last year today, right now. He lost last weekend. This is his chance to make it up. That's his most favorite units right there. Okeanos, Tablos, we saw him play earlier. That Escher came out to play. And I'm very excited to see his drafting and his aggressive playstyle.
Yeah, I mean, Baus, it would be a shame, and no discredit to SaPyn here, but it would be a real shame to not have last season 16's Europe Cup champion in the next Europe Cup as well. I mean, this is looking Vili could be the one to go through here, but what do you think? Is he strong enough? Does he have what it takes to go again to compete in the Europe Cup?
Yeah, I think the 2020 Europe Cup champion does have what it takes to make his way through to the Europe Cup of 2021. SaPyn is a very strong opponent, but Viilipytty just has so many options at his disposal and such fast units as well.
I mean, Killer, SaPyn here, we look at his units, we see that his win rate is slightly down. One of the few players, actually, I think we've seen that in Season 17 has been slightly down comparatively to others, but still, you know, a great performer nonetheless. And we know that, you know, winning a game last week, winning one of his matchups, he has had victory this season at this level, so completely capable as well. I think we all can all agree. In fact, do you know what we'll do? I think this is what we'll do. We're going to have a look right now at some of the highlights from these 2 players. You guys want to see exactly how they got here? You're welcome. We'll deliver it to you. These are the best bits of how Vili and SaPyn got to be in this position, contending for a place in the Europe Cup. And there you have it. That's how Vili and SaPyn got to be in this position, competing for that final space in the Europe Cup, where the top prize, as we know, is an almighty $10,000, which is absolutely humongous. Right, Baus, Killer, it is time to head into our pick and ban phase. As always, guys, in the chat, do bring as much energy and hype as you can to this. You know, this is not only is it the last season's Europe Cup champion, but it's the final game of the EU prelim finals. We want to make sure this goes out with an absolute bang. So let us know in the chat who you think is going to take this one. And let's go into set one for the pick and bans. It's time for SaPyn versus Vili.
Here we go. It hopefully goes out in a bang because the winner goes to the EU Cup. Best out of 5. You can't rule out any of these players just yet. Here we go, 60 seconds for the pre-bans. Pre-bans comes in, SaPyn banning out that Tableau from Viilipytty side. Viilipytty banning out that Lulu from SaPyn side. Very interesting. 5 seconds to decide on what they will draft up.
I like that Lulu ban a lot. We're not going to get to see Lulu in this match, which signals really aggressive plays planned by Viilipytty.
Here we go, SaPyn, first pick. Okeanos locked in, Viilipytty, Cardinal locked in for slot 1, Sierra slot 2 with the speed lead.
Maybe I spoke too soon. The Cardinal and Sierra are not necessarily signs of an aggressive draft, but you might pivot into something a little bit more aggressive. SaPyn, really early Okeanos, not something we see that often. Usually we do see the Cardinal or the Sierra first pick. Not sure why he picked the Okeanos instead, but you know, he could reset the one of the crucial units from Viilipytty's side.
Here we go, SaPyn with that Bella. Dark Cannon Girl, Bella locked in for his second unit, Merlon for his third unit, Viilipytty bringing out that Nasha for his third unit. What will his fourth unit be? It's a Praha double Oracle on his side with the resistance lead locked in into Viilipytty's side.
I was expressing some excitement just there because I saw the Nasha pick and I'm really looking forward to the Nasha damage that Viilipytty brings once again. SaPyn is going to need to bring some counters, either something like a Water Ryu to try and take the first turn, or something that's going to sustain his team. I don't know. I remember that Rosith managed to bring the Annabelle out last time that did really well against Viilipytty, and here we see the same thing again.
There we go. SaPyn brings out that Annabelle and that Rika double Octagale locked in for his final draft. Viilipytty locking in that Bastard for his final draft. Both players, any moment now, will put in their bans.
I wonder if Viilipytty is going to ban the HP lead to help him take out a unit, or if he's going to ban one of the main sources of sustain or CC. There are a couple of those, so maybe he'll ban the HP lead. It is a little bit easier, and then SaPyn, I don't know what's the best choice.
There we go. Praha ban, Rika ban, Sierra leader skill locked in with that speed lead, and I believe it was the Merlong on SaPyn side with the HP lead locked in. Here we go, guys. Match number 4. Bastard taking that first turn from Viilipytty's side. Attack buff is up. Nasha follows up into Okeanos, doing some serious damage, landing that defense break. Carnal failing to take out the Okeanos. Sierra takes it out with the skill 1. Huge play right there.
That was incredible, and it was deleted just like that. I wasn't really sure about that Praha ban, to be honest, because Viilipytty was able to utilize all 4 units to pummel in damage into that unit, the Okeanos. Okeanos was just gone just like that.
There we go. SaPyn with the Reckless into Sierra. Sierra out of this match. Carnal going with that skill 3, stunning that Bella and that Merlon. Nasha follows up. Bastard skill 2, landing so much debuffs on SaPyn's side. Here we go. Carnal skill 2 into Bella. Nasha taking out that Bella. Interesting play right there.
So much damage and control from Viilipytty. It's really exciting to see. That Bella that did a lot of work for SaPyn last weekend in his giant killing of PinkRoid, not being able to take the turns required in order to do so today.
Here we go. Annabelle versus the World. Carnal additional turn into Annabelle. She has the slow. She has that defense break. That came from Bastard right now. Carnal overlaps. Takes a damage into Annabelle. Provokes her. Additional turn. Nasha deletes Annabelle out of this match. Viilipytty taking that first point. Best out of 5. SaPyn has a big chance for a comeback. How will he respond to Viilipytty drafting?
Wow. I mean, the level of debuffs there that Viilipytty was able to kind of like issue onto SaPyn's lineup was just unbelievable, Baus. Like, you felt like he was in a stranglehold and he couldn't get out of it.
For real, Adam. That was prime Viilipytty. wrestling his opponents into submission. The back step bringing in the attack buff, that Nasha landing the strip, and then the Carnal just finishing off. It was just amazing to see, really good to see Viilipytty in his prime, bringing out his classic playstyle of just deleting units off the field in no time at all.
Yeah, I mean, SaPyn, a valiant effort there, Killer, as well. But, I mean, it just feels at this point that unless he brings something really explosive out of the, straight out of the bat on the second round here, it's going to be tricky for him.
Yeah, it will be tricky, but I'm sure he's prepared to come up with a surprise or something to take that edge on Viilipytty. Here we go. Set number 2 is underway. Pre-bans coming out any moment right now from both players.
Indeed, Viilipytty is going to have access to that Tableau and Nasha combo this time round unless SaPyn decides to pre-ban the Nasha, which I think I would do if I were him. For Viilipytty, you might want to pre-ban that Bella. SaPyn did have access to that unit in the last match, even though it didn't do that much.
There we go, SaPyn opting in with that Carnal ban, and Viilipytty opting in with the Annabelle ban. Completely, totally different to what you said, boss. Interesting to see. Here we go.
Well, I can't get it correct every single time, you know.
Viilipytty with the first pick locks in Okeanos on that first slot.
Indeed, but this time what it does mean is that we're going to get to see the Tableau Nasha combo, which I'm really excited about. The SaPyn does not have the Annabelle in order to counter that.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Here we go. SaPyn with that Molong, Lulu and friends locked in slot 1 and 2. Like boss predicted, 100% correct. Viilipytty with the Tableau and the Nasha for slot 2 and slot 3 locked in on his side. Here we go. Interesting drafting.
Interesting drafting indeed. SaPyn is going to need to bring out some sustain. Maybe something like the Livert picks of Vanessa Triana, but I don't know if he has those units runed up.
Here we go, SaPyn brings out the Rika on the 3rd slot, Diana on the 4th slot, locks them in. Viilipytty brings out that Light Samar, Light Fairy King, and Shan as the 5th unit, locks them in. All light units over there, and SaPyn responds with a Leo.
This is incredible stuff, Killer! Oberon, Shan, Nasha, 3 light, dark units on Viilipytty's side of the field. He's just missing the Okeanos to disrupt the color coordination there. That Leo really could counterpick to both the Tableau and the Nasha. I'm fully expecting a ban on the Leo possibly, unless he bans out the Lulu or the Molong or the Diana. All decent bans. For SaPyn, he's going to need to disrupt that combo somehow.
Here we go, Leah gets banned like you predicted, boss. Oberon, Light Fairy King gets the ban. Tableau opted in with the speed lead. Molong opted in with the HP lead. Here we go. Set number 2, Viilipytty 1, SaPyn 0. The match is underway. Who will take this next point? Here we go. Nasha taking that first turn into Diana, failing to strip. No defense break landed. Okeanos follows up after Nasha, landing on the Rika, succeeding with the reset.
That was actually really unfortunate for Viilipytty, missing that strip from the Nasha. And you did pronounce the name correctly, the Oberon, but you're not going to need to pronounce it again, luckily, because the Oberon has been banned out.
Something we don't see too often, that's why, and I don't have one myself. Okeanos goes with the skill, Rain of Stones, does some serious damage. Rika not looking too healthy, Diana not looking too healthy. She's about to take a turn. Will she transform? Will she put the shields up? Here we go, goes for the transform. SaPyn, where will you put that damage? Goes into the Shan, puts that Shan to half HP, but Shan cuts in. Here we go, skill 3, speed buff is up. Stun was on that Diana.
Well, we've seen it again, the Diana getting cut, not looking at the HP bars, but it didn't matter because the Lulu luckily was able to heal up the Diana. But the Nasha is still there, Diana is still in unicorn form, and the Viilipytty should be able to take advantage of this and take out this Diana as quickly as he can.
Something we don't see too often, Pony in human form gets taken out by Nasha. Here we go, Rika stunning that Shan with that skill 1. Okeanos goes and puts skill 1 damage into Rika. Tableau takes a turn, doesn't stun anything. Nasha follows up, lands the defense break, gets an additional turn, puts that slow on Rika. Shan taking out that Rika, huge play right there.
Well, this is a Nasha showcase. Shan doing very strong support as well, but that Diana transforming at possibly the wrong time. We've seen that so many times in the EU prelims already, and we've seen it once again. It is a really easy mistake to make because you have to really concentrate to watch those attack bars when you transform with Diana.
Honestly, that Nasha looked like she done Reckless Assault on Moloch, bringing his HP down from 100% to 30%. Here we go. Viilipytty 2-0. Clean sweep so far. Not out yet for SaPyn. It is a best out of 5. Anyone's game so far.
Yeah, it's lucky. I've just actually booked myself a cab for the next like 3 minutes. I think that's how long we'll be here for, going by the last 2 games. Ridiculous how quickly Viilipytty is dispatching SaPyn here. We all knew that the Europe Cup 2020 champion had a lot in his locker, but boys, I mean, Faust, it just feels like he's just so OP right now.
OP, Adam. I'm not surprised at all. Everyone knew this guy was OP, and he is delivering. He is bringing out so much damage, and that match might be one of my favorite matches so far. He brought out three light dark 5-star units, those rare units. That Nasha and Shan combo, really nice to see actually, and I hope he is able to do that in the next match, but I'm sure that SaPyn will have been thinking of how to counter that.
Yeah, this is SaPyn's last opportunity. Like you guys, I love seeing rare units being used here. It's so much more fun that we can kind of mix things up a little bit. But SaPyn, this is his last opportunity. He must win 3 on the bounce here, or Viilipytty is going through to that final Europe Cup seat. It's pre-ban time. It's set 3. Let's see what happens.
Here we go, guys. Match 4, set 3. Match point for Viilipytty. SaPyn looking to get a point and get that edge to give it himself a chance to make it to that EU Cup. Pre-bans are in. Tableau and Lulu get banned. SaPyn with that first pick. What will he choose for his first unit?
No surprise at all on the Tableau ban. He really wants to disrupt the combo that Viilipytty brought out last time and has destroyed him with. Viilipytty also doesn't want to deal with that Lulu because Viilipytty probably wants to bring another aggressive play once again. I am looking forward to this.
Here we go, SaPyn with that Okeanos first pick once again, locked in. Viilipytty locking in Sierra with the speed lead. Carnal with the HP lead, locked in for slot 2, and it looking very good draft on his side. How will SaPyn respond to the draft? Brings out an Annabelle and a Changpeng. Very nicely drafted. Back to Viilipytty.
I actually do like the Annabelle and Changpeng picks. Viilipytty doesn't have a stripper right now. He still has the Nasha that he can pick up anytime he likes though. So I'm sure he'll think about doing that and maybe bringing some more control and just classic damage of Viilipytty.
You said Nasha, and Nasha comes out. Locked in for slot 3 on Viilipytty's side. Praha, slot 4 locked in on Viilipytty's side. SaPyn with his final 2 drafts, slot 4 and 5, 15 seconds to decide what he will pick.
Well, it's nice to see when I do predict something correctly every now and then, and he's brought out 2 strippers, so he can follow up with anything right now. SaPyn is going to need to think about, he's got the Rika, maybe he might want to bring out a Xian as well, the Water Joker?
He brings out a Rika and not a CM but a Belia for his final unit, and it's locked in. Viilipytty has his final slot. What is he going to go with?
Belia is an interesting pick, but not a bad pick into the Nasha because he can cut. If the Nasha doesn't take out a unit from 100 to 0, once a unit drops below 30% HP, then Belia is going to cut and be able to heal the team. So it'll be interesting how much of an impact Belia has in this match.
There we go. Ryu more locked in from Viilipytty's side as his 5th unit. Few seconds, both players will lock in their bans.
Indeed, Viilipytty deciding to go with another stripper, but one that brings some decent damage as well. Maybe he'll want to ban out some of the SaPyn sustain or the Rika. If SaPyn, he's going to have to ban out some of the damage from Viilipytty's side, I think.
He does ban out that damage. That Nasha's banned out, the Annabelle's banned out. SaPyn opts in with the accuracy lead skill from Okeanos, and Viilipytty Sierra lead skill locked in with the 24 right there. Here we go, match point for Viilipytty. Praha taking that first turn, stripping only 1 will unit. Carnal follows up, lands the stun and the slur on Changpeng, could be crucial.
That is a really interesting build. We saw the Wateroo actually moving after the Carnal. Maybe it's a Despair Wateroo that didn't stun anything, but he did make the crucial strip on the Changpeng and the Okeanos, and this Sierra is actually going to take out a unit.
Wow, Sierra taking out Abilia not healing anyone. Rika landing many debuffs onto Viilipytty's side. Okeanos Rain of Stuns, stunning 2 out of 4 units.
It's definitely not over yet, Killer, because the Changpeng and the Okeanos is still alive for now. But yeah, this looks like Viilipytty is going to still have the advantage.
Huge additional turn from Sierra, dealing some damage onto that Changpeng. Changpeng not looking too healthy. He gets a turn before he gets out of the field. He puts that skill 3 into Viilipytty's team, pushes back the attack bars. Rika takes a turn, stuns that Sierra. She was already stunned. Praha taking out that Changpeng. Rika versus 4 units.
There is a small chance if Rika manages to get a couple of procs with skill 1, but I don't think that's going to happen.
There we go, Cardinal taking out that Rika. Here we go, Viilipytty clean sweep, reigning champ from last year. 3-0 over SaPyn. Viilipytty moving to the EU Cup. Once again, 2 years in a row. GZ for both players.
Game, set, and match for Viilipytty. He joins the rest of our players qualified for the Europe Cup in that 4th position, beating out SaPyn 3-0. It felt there as well, guys. I mean, we can all appreciate the reasons behind him being last year's winner because of the strength of what he beholds. I mean, he's summoned like a boss. Let's not mess around here, boss. Let's not mess around, okay? I think that we can all see that the amount of damage he did to the entire pack that SaPyn had, almost every move from the get-go there was just unbelievable.
Exactly, Adam. He knows, he's well known for his high damage, and he exactly brought that out today. He has some new units since last year, since he won the EU Cup, that Nasha, and I think he's going to be one of the favourites for the EU Cup itself once again, once he makes his way through. Really, really exciting to see Viilipytty in action as always.
Yeah, absolutely. Here you can see that we have confirmed the final 4 players going through to the Europe Cup here. Chene, Livert, PinkRoid, and Viilipytty have put on quite a performance today. It's been absolutely wonderful to be here on the virtual desk, bringing you guys all the action here. Killer, do you think 4 worthy qualifiers for the Europe Cup here? They're pretty special players.
They're all special, all 8 of them, not just all 4 of them. They all have different play styles. Some of them are quick, some of them are slow, some of them are drafting units that we haven't seen for 2 years. You know, like the Rakan, that was amazing, you know, and the Nashas and the LD units. It was very amazing all around from all players.
I see. It seems today as well that Livert, I think, is the only player who is a kind of a new player, if you will, qualifying to go through. So quite exciting as well for him. The fact that he's surrounded by all the classic, the veterans we talked about, players that are synonymous with Summoner's War. Must be a great opportunity here to play against the best of the best in the Europe Cup house.
Exactly, I'm really excited to see how Livert goes up against some of these veterans. Actually, PinkRoid, I believe it's also going to be his first EU Cup. He's been in the prelims before, not in the main event. So I'm really excited for both of them and also really excited for everyone else. It's going to be an incredible day when it comes.
Yeah, it is. And the community, you guys watching, all the players involved as well. Everyone kind of celebrates Summoners World Arena Championships as well, because despite maybe not qualifying for the Europe Cup, everyone is cheering each other on because it's such a fun, amazing event which kind of celebrates the game as well. Let's have a look. These are your day 1, 2, and 3 qualifiers for the EU Cup. These are the 8 summoners who are taking part in the Europe Cup later on this year, going head-to-head, trying to be the winner of the Cup and that $10,000 top prize, which is absolutely incredible. Baus, Killer, this is almost it for us. I'll ask you both. Baus, had a good time? Enjoyed this?
I had an incredible time. Could hardly be better. I really appreciated the opportunity to do this with you guys, and for real, it's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you so much.
Killer, have you loved it?
2 words, whoosh, whoosh. Amazing.
Whoosh, whoosh. I love that. Thank you guys so much for watching. It's been an absolute blast. You've got the coupon code on screen right now as well. Make sure to utilize this. This is a little gift from us to you to basically enjoy. This is for you to put in, get some mana stones, 100,000 of them, a mystical scroll as well there as well. That's just for taking part, being here today, celebrating Summoners War with us as well. Before we go, Baus, who do you think could win the Europe Cup? Who do you think is the player to look out for?
That's a really difficult one. I would like to see PinkRoid as my guildmate take the whole thing, but there's a lot of strong competitors as well.
And how about you? Who's yours, Killer?
All of them. I want to see all of them take it out and take each other out at the same time.
Love it. Completely unbiased. I love that. You can see on the screen as well, these are the dates of the America's Cup, the Asia Pacific Cup, and the Europe Cup as well, all coming away from September. You can see that October 23rd is the Europe Cup specifically that we've been working towards. We have the 8 players after these last 2 weekends as well. From myself, Adam Savage, it's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you so much for having me back this year. I loved last year, this year, even bigger, better, faster, stronger. Thank you to Baus and Killer. Thank you to the entire team at Com2Us, as well as everyone who's been involved with the production production, and Summoners War as well. Obviously, the most massive thanks to you guys for watching and celebrating with us as well. And a huge thanks to our players who have brought us so much entertainment over the course of these last 2 weekends, just showcasing what a great game Summoners War is and how much the community is celebrating these players and everyone as well. Thank you so much. Take care. Have a great weekend. We'll see you October 23rd for the Europe Cup. We'll see you then. Take care. Bye-bye for now.